This episode of the GameOverGreggy Show is brought to you by Pro Flowers. Let me make your life easy for you. Pro Flowers is my go-to for flowers. They're fresh, they're priced right, and they're a perfect gift for literally anyone at any time, really. They get delivered straight to the recipient's door, and bouquets are guaranteed fresh for 7 days or your money back. Their website's super easy to use. You can schedule your delivery anytime that you want. People don't even need to be there. They show up at the door and they come home with flowers. See, most people will wait until anniversaries or birthdays to send flowers, but I love sending Gia the Pro Flowers randomly. Got to keep her on her toes. And honestly, it always surprises me how happy it makes her. Like, she legitimately gets happy about it. Super easy. You can just do it. And right now, Pro Flowers has a special offer for just our listeners. Get $10 off your purchase of $29 or more. This deal works on best-selling gifts like their 100 Blooms bouquet, a dozen red roses, or even all their weird, totally unique plant gifts. Go to proflowers.com and enter code GREGGY at checkout to get the special deal.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the GameOverGreggy Show. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer slash seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Top of the evening to you.
Back into a t-shirt. Last week he was wearing that collared shirt. No more, he said.
To be honest with you, I like the collared shirt, but I don't like the way I look in the collared
Casual
shirt.
Wednesday.
Here's what I want to say. I
got a foopy right here.
Here's what we're gonna say. Here's what I'm gonna say. Is that you looked really good in this shirt yesterday and last night. And I know what you're talking about because I took photos of you last night.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he's not going to like it if he has the little gut. The gut isn't like it was. You've lost weight, sir.
As you know, it's been widely publicized now. A lot of mainstream media outlets pick this up. I am in a Jackman off.
You are in a Jackman off.
At Darren Braz on Twitter.
Sure.
He has challenged me to a Hugh Jackman off to see on our anniversary, January 5th.
2018?
18? You said Satan. I'm not sure. That kind of underload. So whichever one of us looks more like Hugh Jackman by then wins a steak dinner.
Okay.
He's probably going to win. Actually, one of two things is going to happen. Either he's going to stick with it and win, or we're both just going to forget about this.
You don't think you can do it?
I think I got this stuff.
I was watching Glow where they did that medicine ball thing.
Yeah,
that seems like that's what it'd be.
Like that last Saturday.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a video I saw. James Harrison, former Pittsburgh Steeler, was playing volleyball with a medicine ball.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And they were catching him. He was like, it was like 2v2.
There's no way he was actually like.
No, they were catching him and like fucking hunking him over. They'd catch it. They'd fucking throw it back. Yeah, it was crazy.
That seems like a recipe for really.
Blowing out something.
Yeah.
Blow something.
James Harrison.
Chris Harrison is the host of The Bachelor.
Oh, I thought you said Chris Hansen, the host of To Catch a Predator.
Yeah, after The Bachelor
to catch a medicine ball.
There was Family Feud. Hosted by Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
And God, I love that man.
Steve Harvey's amazing.
What? So bad.
I hate him.
Dude, he's the worst.
How did this not come up in your... What do you mean he's the worst?
He's just the worst.
Shit.
Like, I just...
What?
He's the most, like... I just love it. It's always this... He has three facial expressions and he just jumps between the three. And there's not even like a transition between it.
Steve Harvey's awesome. What don't you like about Steve Harvey?
He's a piece of shit. There's videos. There's videos of him like that people have got like a bunch of footage of him saying really dumb things on TV. Stuff about like women and atheists and stuff like that. It's like,
well, atheists.
He's like, well, if you're an atheist, I want nothing to do with you. What do you?
So that's you saw that email stuff that went around about him, right? Where he was like,
oh, but that's like I can understand.
I kind of understand that.
I feel often, if I'm being honest, I need to send that email around here because I can't fucking go from this room to the other room to get my job done without somebody coming over. The only one of you that doesn't give me any hard time that makes my day better is Cool Greg.
Wow. What email are you talking about?
Steve Harvey sent, by the way, that's the pure one, Tim Gettys.
Let Tim host.
This is the man with the most pretentious hair in video games, Andy Cortez.
That's fucking bullshit.
Pretentious hair, most pretentious beard. It's been proven. We put it up on the poll.
Pieces of shit.
Fuck you.
Twitter had it say. Twitter had it say.
It did.
Resoundingly, by the way. You lost by a lot.
Yeah, both of you sip your little pretentious sodas there.
Lose by a lot. It was 52 to 48.
Exactly. Steve Harvey sent out an email.
Both ways.
Steve Harvey sent out an email to his staff that was basically like, hey, and I'm paraphrasing a lot here. Hey, a lot of you are swooping on me in the halls and doing this thing, so here are the rules. From now on, the only way to talk to Steve Harvey, that's me, is to book time and put it on the calendar. If I'm walking in my dressing room, don't fucking come up and talk to me and do all this. And it came off kind of assholey, but also like, hey, I just need to get my job done. Can everybody not stop me every 5 seconds? Or
I'm into that.
Not knock on my door, just come on in.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you judge from the outside and you're like, wow, that's a really, like the way it was phrased, you're like, fuck, that is harsh. And that's kind of a dick thing. But you don't know.
It was to the point.
It wasn't Yeah, it was skating the line to the point. It could have been like, hey, everyone, please respect my...
His response was, maybe I should have phrased it differently, but I stand by the email.
Yeah, no,
of like, I need to get my job done. You're all in here in my face. I haven't seen these videos you're talking about. I'd like you to present some proof after this. Because I would like to know this. Because I appreciate Steve Harvey's humor. I appreciate his facial expression. Yeah, also, what don't you like about Steve Harvey?
I appreciate Steve Harvey. Like, I just like that he's Steve Harvey. He's just like that guy that you can fill him into any
decoy
game
octopus.
Show. He's decoy octopus. He's just there.
So what don't you like about him? I'm not saying I'm like I watch his
there's
shows.
Nothing special about him. I would never be like, I'm happy he's hosting this show. So we need to cast him in every movie.
So let's quiet down for 1 second then.
Yeah.
Where'd he come down on Guy Fieri?
Fieri?
If I'm being honest, don't have enough to have an opinion on him.
Okay.
I know a lot of people hate him.
Exactly, because he's popular and he's fun. That's the problem.
Is he funny?
No, fun, I said.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if people hate him. I think it's just like a funny thing to make fun of him.
Sure. And that's the problem. Everybody just wants to tear everybody down. Everyone wants to tear everybody down.
I don't think people hate him.
Not Nick and I.
I think that there's...
How do I always get the one that's falling apart?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm with Tim. I don't know enough about Guy. Is it Fieri?
Fieri.
I don't know enough about him. I've seen him at his show. He seems loud and abrasive, but I got used to you.
Exactly. That's the thing. I see a lot of parallels between me and Guy, and that's why I feel like I got to stick up for him once in a while.
I appreciate that.
People don't understand how good he is at his job. I've watched it. I think we've done a topic.
Yeah, we have. You did. We did a topic on Guy Fieri.
All right, fine. Well, you know nothing about him. Great. Topic really works. If you didn't know, this is the Game Over Greggy show each and every week. 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table, each bring a random topic discussion for your amusement. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny.
I don't like that you hijacked my last statement there and then went right into the intro.
Because that was a good, funny... Look at him. He's yucking it up.
Fuck you, Andy. Do not fucking support this bad behavior right now.
What's the bad behavior? I'm keeping the show going. I'm hosting here left and right. You know that choo-choo motherfucker.
God, you know
They're going
fine. But I will not stomach this bad speak about Steve Harvey. He is an amazing actor. He can be literally, we've proven over the years, he can be plugged into any movie possible and still make it.
Now what do you have to
working
say,
cast.
Cortez?
I'll show you the video afterwards.
All right, fine. I'll change my opinion accordingly.
If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny, where a couple of bucks gets you a whole bunch of stuff. You can watch it live like so many of you are right now, because we do a thing where we show it live while we record it. If you give us $1, this one's worth the $1 too. If you don't want to give us $1, you can give us more money. Get the show ad-free as an MP3 or a video, or a whole bunch of other crazy perks and goodies and crazy shit we do. You want to give us no money, no big deal. You can head over to youtube.com/kindafunny, where we put the show up topic by topic, day by day, until it goes up as one big MP3 and video. Yeah, okay. Day by day. There it is. Fresh right over, different everywhere. Nick, what's your topic?
My topic is comedy.
Yep, you did it last night. We all went and saw you. The timeline is fucked for you at home, but no big deal. Woo! You were great. You were funny. We enjoyed it.
Get off the stage, loser! I wanted to yell that so bad.
I wanted you to. You know, I was reminiscing, as we do when we come in the morning, about last night's festivities with Greg, and I was like, I've done about probably 20 open mics right now, and the only person ever to outwardly boo me is Greg Miller.
But I booed you in the right context.
No, I said a very distasteful joke, which was the point. I was fucking around with the audience, and you gave me the nice boo, and I played off of it.
Was it a boo?
Nice.
I thought it was just a groan, kind of.
I thought
it it was good.
I mean, luckily, anytime I want, I recorded the entire performance. So we can go back and we can see what it was.
Yeah. You did a great job.
We can reference this,
Nick,
Kevin.
set the scene for us. Where were we? Why were we there? Who was there?
So I've been doing open mics for a few months now, just because I've always wanted to do. Just finally got up the steam to go and do it. And the main place that I do it at is a place called Brainwash Cafe, which is down off of Folsom Street. This is a cafe/laundromat. It is very much...
But they have a performance space.
They have a small performance space that's a little tiny elevated stage that people can do open mic on. And, the place is older. It's very much... You can tell it's not from this era. It looks like it's kind of stuck in 1998, like during the original .com bust.
Yeah, Reality Bites got filmed there.
Yeah, exactly. But, it's cool. It's got its own little charm.
Matthew Broderick running around.
If I can throw out a funny Easter egg for people who have listened to me podcast for years and years and years and years and years and years and years.
This blew my mind yesterday.
This is Damon Hatfield and Ryan Gettys performed music at Brainwash Cafe. I'll say 9 years ago, maybe a full decade ago, and Damon still calls it the worst venue he had ever played.
Really?
And it was, I remember it being there for that show and how bad it was and how they couldn't make the audio work and all this different. It's a different setup now. It worked fine last night. You could hear everybody.
For stand-up, I think you don't really need too much. You just need a speaker and a microphone, and they have like 3 of those Home Depot lights that you bought when you were like getting into filmmaking when you were a kid. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right?
That's so funny. Yeah, exactly.
But that's
also though, it's like it's not too big, so even if your mic didn't work, like everyone would still hear you.
And you know they've got a little monitor. Anyway, so long story short, I've been going there along with a few other open mics around the city for a few months now, and the guy that hosts that particular showcase named Tony Sparks, really great guy.
Tony Sparks.
You think that's his real name?
No, I think it's his stage name.
It was awesome.
I don't know him enough, but
How does he spell it?
Sparks is in
SPARX.
No, there's no X. No, I think it's just error. You can find him on Facebook. He's kind of like a father figure to a lot of the open micers. He runs this one every day. So there's every day.
Every day?
6:30. Except for Saturdays and Sundays, I believe it's at 4:30. And he's very, very cool at making sure that everyone understands this is a space where people are welcome and you are training and you are just working your shit out and like you were supposed to be. Basically, he starts every show the same way, which I absolutely adore. First off, he calls everyone humans, which I think is great.
Yeah, it sounds weird.
Humans.
I wasn't into that.
I was like, are you an alien? Are you a
You get into
robot?
it after a while though, because you're like, the message is it's supposed to be very positive. It's like we're all just one people. But he's also very accepting of like, he's like, look, this is a place where it's supposed to be not necessarily a safe space, but like this is a very accepting space.
It's
People
a
are gonna come in
comedy
here
safe
and they're gonna
space.
do shit and they're gonna say things. They're just working out stuff. Just be accepting and like don't judge, good or bad. You know, and I really appreciate that. And I look for, when I go to look for new things, like new experiences like that, I look for environments like that. I'm not a guy that can go into the do or die environment and thrive. I just can't do that. I like collaboration. I like people that I can see that are working through their stuff because it makes me feel at home. But I did a set about a month ago, actually today, that really it was the first time my material started kind of coming together and it flowed in such a way that I got a lot of laughs. And when I came off stage, he was like, yo, that was really, really that was really good. You're really coming along. I do a showcase the last Tuesday of every month called Cookies and Comedy. It's basically the same thing it's what you guys saw last night. He picks 5 to 6 up and coming comedians, just new to the area that no one's seen really before, haven't been a part of the showcase, and we get to go first. And you invite people and have fun. And obviously I to be honest, stacked the deck in my favor a lot on this one because the entire front row was you guys. It was you guys, my wife, my buddy Scotty that came up he was just randomly in town.
Big Dick Scotty.
Yeah, Big Dick Scotty.
So you guys all came and that was awesome. And it was great too because last week I'd done the same venue, roughly the same time, and completely bombed. And then I was like, fuck this. I'm going to come back the next day and do it again. Because I'm like, I got to just jump right back in, right?
Yeah.
Get back in the swimming pool.
Get in there.
And I did it again and I failed even worse. And I was like, this showcase on Tuesday is going to be a nightmare. And no one's going to laugh. And then Kevin's going to come and Kevin's just going to shake his head. And he's going to make fun of me for the rest of my life on it. And of course, I'm giving Kevin absolutely zero credit. You guys were all fucking awesome and super supportive.
Well, so what's interesting to me is I said this in my Instagram post, but like I think us being there was to your detriment. Where I felt like it really felt like you were kind of leaning and like feeling the need to like look at us and like make jokes to us.
Sure.
Whereas like I thought you fucking killed it. It was
you.
so
100%.
impressive.
You were awesome.
Thank you.
And like seeing all the other people, I mean, to be honest, I was impressed by not everyone, but most people. Where I was like, whoa, I was expecting much more of a train wreck.
Same here.
From this, and it wasn't. Like people were prepared, they knew what they were doing, and they worked the crowd. And it was just like, it's always a hard thing, especially when you're in a small space like that, where as an audience member, you still kind of need to perform.
Yeah, you need to give back a little bit as far as energy-wise.
Exactly.
That can be the problem. Like last week, the thing I noticed was that I went on. So to put in context, you go there at 6. The showcase started at 6:30. I think I went on around 7:15, which is right around the time where that particular audience was warmed up. You guys were like, okay, we're into this. Everyone had a couple drinks. Everyone was having a good time.
The girls had far too much canned wine.
The girls had a lot of canned wine. Speaking of which, canned wine, never a great idea or a great idea.
Great idea.
Depending on how you look at it. So that was great. But the week prior to that, I think I'd gone on at 9. And it was, everyone was tired. Because the other big problem is when you go to these open mics, it's all comedians. And either they're all just waiting to go on or they're all waiting to go on and they've heard your set already. So imagine trying to workshop your jokes in front of an audience that doesn't, like, they're there to support you, but honestly they're just there to go on and have already heard your set 5 times. It's very difficult. That's actually one of the, like, from what I understand, that room at Brainwash is very, very difficult for the most part because you don't have outside people coming in. It's not like it's a bar. It's specifically when people go there, it is to just tone that craft. So that can be very, very, like, fucking nerve-wracking and completely demoralizing.
Well, so it was interesting to see kind of go from the showcase where it was the 5 or 6 that they had, and I would say that at least 5 of them were very solid. There was one that I was like, all right, cool.
Still working through stuff. Yeah.
Definitely the weaker side of this. But I still I appreciated that they still really gave it their all. And like, even when they fucked up, or like took a second, we're like, all right, cool, I can figure this out, and like kept going.
Yeah.
And like the room was very like, all right, and they were right there with them, right? Then once the open mic part started, and it started being the more like we stayed for maybe 4 people after something like that, because the open mic ones were a lot quicker. Like your guys' showcase, you had up to 8 minutes if you wanted to use that, right?
Yeah. So that was the other thing too, was I came in normally at that during the busier times. Actually, pretty much for the most part of Brainwash, you're getting 3 minutes. That you get 3 minutes to do what you're gonna do, and that's it. When I got there tonight, I wasn't sure what the actual, we wouldn't even know how much time we had, because he allots kind of time, and then if you get there, it's like, I'm going to give you 10 minutes, you 5 minutes, you 8 minutes. So he said to me, I got 8 minutes, and I was like, cool, I have 4 minutes of material that I ever rehearsed. I do not know. So I went back and I made notes on all the things that I wanted to workshop, and I was able to work a few of those pieces in. But I realized that, like, and I had my wife time it when I walked off stage. It was 6 minutes, and Tony was okay. He's like, "Do whatever you want to do. This is
you're fucking dead. You'll never play Brainwash again."
Yeah, exactly. But that's part of the fun, is that you want to challenge yourself, right? It's like 3 minutes used to be daunting to me. Now I can do 3 minutes. I know I can do 3 minutes. Anyone can do it. So 5 minutes is a little bit harder, especially when you start bombing. You're like, 5 minutes is an eternity when no one laughs. 8 minutes, I mean, I've only done.
Does that still sound lofty to you?
It sounds like a lot. Yeah. It does, because I've been now to a lot of comedy shows since I started doing this. I've been starting to go every time I'm in LA. I try to pick up a show at the store, and those guys the pros do 15 minutes. Those are their sets, and that is a long time to not be funny or to fucking kill. But like, it's one of those things where when they walk on and you see someone kill, it goes by like that. You're like, oh, I don't want this guy to leave.
Yeah.
But I saw this one guy that had literally, and oftentimes comedians will, like, if they do a special, if they do something else where the material's out there and recorded, they'll throw it away and they'll start over. And if you catch someone that's just starting over, it can be very interesting and very painful. And I caught that the first time I went to the second time I went to the comedy store.
Well, so it's interesting. That's what I was seeing with the open mic stuff. Like, once they hit that part, it was very clear they are struggling with their set or whatever, and they're learning what's the best way to read notes. Should I have things on my hand? Should I have a notebook? Should I have my phone out? And I liked that everyone kind of had a different strategy. Yeah. But like, have you seen, were there people in this showcase, or have you seen people that started being kind of awkward and bad get better?
Yeah, me.
But I mean, besides you, like, have you seen other people in the time that you've been doing
I mean, I've seen people. This is the weird part about it. My first time I went there, I saw 3 comedians that I was like, I'm like, these guys are really, really good. Then I saw them a week later, different room, didn't get a laugh. And I was like, that's so weird. And it's vice versa, right? I've seen people that I'm like, this guy's never like gonna get it. And then a week later, I'm like, I'm laughing at this fucking guy. Exactly.
The goat guy. Doing the goat joke.
But I mean, honestly, I'm at a level right now where I don't really have the proper like tools to gauge whether or not someone's got it or not. And honestly, it's an art form that revolves around discipline. So if people keep coming back, they're going to get better at it. You're going to get better at it if you're good at self-evaluating and, you know, smart enough to record your sets and go back and look and see what happened and constantly generating new material.
When you say you bombed, do you think that is you putting yourself under a microscope, doing all, like, because like with your set last night, I don't understand how you could fuck that up. It was good. It was, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, even like, I don't understand how that could bomb last week. I understand like when you first start and you're stumbling and you forget your punchline or something like that. That's different. But like going out there, is it just that there's quiet and you consider that bombing?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, so imagine the same audience after all that. Put 20 more comedians in front of you of open micers, people that are good, some are bad, some are just like up there to tell a story, just to figure something out in their own personal space, and then go on after that. And you just get to a point where people are tired and they don't want to laugh.
Now, is Tony Sparks like fucking hosting those events too?
Yeah. Is he doing the laugh then?
Yeah, he does that every once in a while.
Tony Sparks laugh.
He's a good dude.
I like Tony Sparks.
He's a great host.
Yeah,
Tony's been doing it forever.
Created a great environment.
I feel like it'd be hard for you to bomb in some spots because like he kind of makes you feel like you have to laugh. Like with some of the comedians, even when they weren't laughing, I still laughed just so they wouldn't feel bad.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Of course,
you know, like, and I feel like Tony Sparks would.
But I understand that you getting tired
into that shit.
Somebody's tired.
You get tired, and also, and then there's the other thing too. Is last night, you know, I went on at 7:15, not 9:30. I had energy. You guys gave me energy. There is something to be said for walking in, and you guys know, you guys have done Kind of Funny Live now. Walking in front of a crowd that knows you is a different experience than walking in front of a crowd that couldn't give a shit about you.
Yeah.
Like, I had nothing. Like, again, when I say that the deck was stacked in my favor, it truly was, because you guys are gonna laugh at me at some point. I know I'm gonna get a laugh at you guys. I know what I have to do to get a laugh at you guys, right? And the whole room's gonna feel that, and they're gonna feed off of that. But you know, like I mean, there's so many things that play into it. It's like any other performance, right? There's how you're feeling, how the crowd's feeling. Is your timing off? Did you eat? Are you tired? Are you worn out? Like, are you giving the energy that you're supposed to be giving? And is that working? And if not, are you going to pivot, or are you just going to nose dive into the fucking ground? And it gets, like, you can feel when a joke doesn't hit and you follow it up with something that you think is going to hit and it doesn't hit again. It is a palpable feeling in the air of awkwardness.
Yeah. And so what, then you just keep powering on, you just keep going?
You just got to, yeah. I mean, that's part of the, I mean, I don't want to say fun because that's fucking horrible, but that's part of the process.
It's part of the leveling up and building at it.
It's like anything else. Like the first time you do anything, right, you're going to be bad at it. And you can either be frustrated with it, or you can go, I'm just going to find something good in this and go from there. And what I've started doing is recording myself so I can see, is it me? Is it them? Is it the jokes? What is it? What can I glean from this failure that can help me kind of move forward and do it better the next time?
Are you already at the point where you've removed jokes from your set? Ones that didn't do well and stuff like that? Okay.
There's a ton of jokes. Well, yes, but I added most of them back in last night, though, and retooled them a little bit before. Because 8 minutes is a long time. I've had a bunch of jokes. I have a joke about bidets right now that I'm really trying to figure out. But I just keep saying the word butthole, and it makes me laugh, obviously, because of the shit we do.
Play to the audience. Play to the audience.
Most people are like, why is he
making bongo jokes?
Yeah, exactly. No, but I mean, that's also part of the fun, right? It's just like you get the opportunity. I mean, you know
Joe
this.
Biden.
You just get the opportunity to have people's undivided attention for a few minutes.
Sure.
How much of it is you just strictly memorizing what you wrote?
It's not, for me right now, it's not memorizing so much as knowing how to get in and get out of the joke. So it's more about bullet points. So, no, you know, like you guys have done presentations before, right? Like when you guys did, you guys have done like PowerPoint presentations. You know what you're kind of going to say. You just need to remember like whatever the key phrase is it's going to get you into it. So last night I wrote down like 12 things that are just reminders. So if I forgot what I was going to do, I could look it up.
Where did you write it down?
Then I forgot that I wrote them down, so I didn't actually reference them.
Because you didn't have anything.
No, I wrote them down on my notepad because I was going to actually just pull this out and reference it the whole time, so I can just see what the whole 8 minutes sounded like, and I totally forgot to pull it out. I just got caught up in everything.
I had a lot of fun. Like, I thought it was super fun to see people, and like I liked seeing people do good. I like people seeing them not do so well, because I feel like
seeing that.
Because I liked that they were trying. Like, there was nobody that I was like, fuck, they feel like shit right now. It was just like, oh, everyone's really like going for this. And I'm interested. So right now, these guys are all workshopping their 3 minutes or whatever to get to a point to be on a showcase that's 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You're saying the pros do 15 minutes. Obviously,
the pros can do an hour.
Is the like special, but 15 is the set.
15, having a really tight, strong 15, I think is a goal for a lot of comedians.
So for you, what is your next step then? You're going to keep doing this circuit, try to like nail that 5 minutes, but then is there a step above Brainwash? Like, is there a step where it's like...
definitely. So right now I have earmarked, and I've started to go to the Punchline on Sundays. Punchline does a new comedians like SF showcase, and what you do there is you kind of just show up as many times as you can, and the guy that runs that will hopefully eventually give you 5 minutes. And if you get to go up there and you do well in the 5 minutes, then you keep coming back, and then he'll eventually give you another 5 minutes. And then if that's the case, if they like you enough, he'll invite you in front of the club owners to actually audition to be a part of like basically a paid regular. So they'll put you in when bigger comedians come, they'll put you in those showcase to open for them. So if you get put in the Punchline, you get put in basically the Punchline here. I think there's one in Sacramento, and then there's Cobb's. They run Cobb's as well.
Oh, so, it's them. Okay.
Yeah, so it's that same group of people. And obviously like the paid portion is not why I'm doing this. I'm doing it just for the exposure and the fun and just the self gratification of just getting better at something that I know can better me all around.
What is your end goal?
I don't have one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have one.
Do you?
Yeah. You're doing a fucking special. We're going to get a special, and I want to get it on Netflix. That is a real thing that I want us to do.
All right.
I don't know how. I really this is like yesterday on the show that you would have heard last week. We were talking about like goal, like what is the next goal or whatever. Like, I totally want to set an unreasonable goal of want
that's not unreasonable. Yeah,
to get it on Netflix, I think is the big challenge.
Yeah,
shooting an hour special.
Oh, I can shoot it. I can shoot an hour special tomorrow, and it won't be good, but we can do it.
But I'm saying I want something good enough that we can get there, because I want to get you in front of the world, and I think that's how you do it. What I appreciate about you more than anything about this is that not only are you doing it, but you're doing it the hard way. Like, it's because I've seen so many, like, not so much comedians, but rappers go through this where I'm like, I would never go to an open mic. I would never recommend that an up and coming artist go through that grind, because that's such an old school mentality where it's like, you could just get famous doing something else and be like, by the way, I do this thing too.
Right.
And like, you have a Twitter following, like a sizable Twitter. I would bet that you have more followers than everyone that you've ever done stand up with combined,
probably,
right?
Yeah,
but you're not using that to your advantage.
Not yet.
All.
Well, that's
not
which
yet.
is the key. Which is the key, and I think that is so cool, because you're going to build up the actual skill and talent, so that it's not just a bunch of fake bullshit. You know?
Well, I mean, that's again part of the reason why I'm not like, this is just fun for me is obviously because we have this, right? We've built this. This is my real life. This is my real job. Comedy to me is, I don't want to say a hobby, because it's not that. It's much more meaningful to me than that. But I don't have the pressure of having to succeed there, so I can just go have fun and experiment and do that. But yeah, I mean, the goal, that would be a great goal, but I'm not gonna. That's pretty far down the road. Like, a lot of comedians don't get Netflix specials for like 10,
what I want to
15
float.
years.
Here's what I want to float, and this is meta comedy, but stick with me. I say not the Netflix special yet, but we do the Kind of Funny presents the Nick Scarpino 1 hour stand up special, and we put it on YouTube as a thing. But it's just your 5-minute set, and you're like, well, that's all I have. And you just put the microphone and leave, and it's just, and then it's a
Still shot.
55 minutes of just the
just
fucking
it
man.
cuts out, and the crowd, I guess, is like, well, I guess we're gonna just leave. You know? I guess we'll get some popcorn later or something. Yeah, but no, I mean, to your point, like, yeah, that's the thing. To me, like, taking a cue from what we do here, there's really is like no shortcuts. Like, you can have shortcuts, you can do that stuff, but those aren't the people that I admire. The people I admire are the guys like us that are just, you got to put the work in every day. You know, like, that's what I've learned from you guys. It's like, it's all of this while is super fun, but there's also a grind that comes along with it that can wear you down. But that's also can make you a lot stronger if you're willing to just accept that, you know? And for me, it's really cool to look up to other comedians and then walk into a venue. Jim Breuer's a great comedian. Why you keep fucking with him?
The goat guy.
Was he in what was the movie with him and Dave Chappelle about weed?
The goat.
All right.
Guy.
You know what?
I can picture Harlan Williams too. It's great.
Yeah, fucking
Fuck. Mary
It
Jane
was
in
the
the
movie. It
bar.
was like the movie
Blue
that,
Streak.
No.
That's
Fast.
Martin Lawrence.
Oh, I got to black
Chappelle's
out
in
my
that too.
Tap me if you figure it out.
Oh, that's right. He is in that.
Kevin, can you? Jim Breuer, Dave Chappelle, weed. Half-baked.
God damn it! Yeah, half baked. Fuck you. You're cool. I'm out of here.
I'm out.
No, but I mean, it's super cool. And obviously, like, right now, you know, I'm inspired by everything that's happening with Netflix. Like, there's thousands of comedy specials happening with Netflix. They're really doing a big push to like promote that and to produce that kind of content. So it's cool. It's very cool. But I mean, to be able to go from like checking out, which I did a couple times, I'm just going to check out this open mic, to then doing a showcase at the open mic, and then having my sights set on potentially one day being able to perform at the Punchline, where, you know, you walk in and they've got pictures of everyone that's been there, including like Robin Williams, Dave Chappelle, every big comedian's done the Punchline.
Brewer.
So
I guarantee Jim Breuer has done the Punchline.
That would be a 15-minute
guy.
set.
That would be a set. I think that's a 4 to 7 minute set for that showcase. And then I don't know beyond that. I don't have the education. I'm sure that once you get put in the system and you're actually a person they call up to do sets, you do 15 minutes.
We should do
it could be
comedy.
5. I don't know.
Totally.
We should do that.
I tell you guys, you all are great at it. You guys.
But we should do
totally
like
all
Andy
it.
Kaufman style, where like I'm in the crowd and I'm like heckling you, and you come off and stab me. Like, but not you like with a little knife, and I go like, pfft, I'm like spray the ketchup all over your face.
Method.
And we're like, good night.
Method comedy.
Yeah.
You can do that. There are guys that do stranger shit than that I've seen. Yeah.
What's the strangest thing you've seen?
There is a guy, I don't know his name,
Jim Brewer.
but it's definitely not. I think I think we would all recognize Jim Brewer if he walked into an open mic at a live.
Hey,
guys. Hey guys.
Have you seen Half Baked, Cool Greg?
Nah. Yeah, I was gonna say he's way too.
No, there are just guys that go in there and just do crazy shit. Like, there's one guy that does it's hard to describe. It's like an inside meditation thing that he does, where he's like, he'll start with this, and then he goes into like a radio program, and it's just super fast paced radio, and then it just stops, and then he just like walks off stage.
Wow. Okay.
And you're like, and the first time I saw it, I was like, what the fuck is this? And he went for all 5 minutes. And then hit on the dot, like, you know, they hold up the 1 minute sign, and he was like, yada, 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 yada. And then right at 5 minutes, he stops, and he's like, and that's how I meditate. And then, like, walked off. And it was fucking awesome. I was like, that was hilarious.
prog
No, it was
comedy.
like one big troll. He was just trolling the shit out of the audience.
rush
That's
of
that's
stand-up.
the joke.
Interesting.
But so, you know, that's that's kind of like more performance art than it is stand-up comedy, but that's what he wanted to do.
That's what I'm into. I like that shit.
That's comedy, man.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, we're all performers, like every one of us here. It's just, to me, this is something I wanted to try. So
I'm glad you did.
Super fun.
It's really cool that you're doing it. A lot of people
Thanks,
say
guys.
stuff they want to do, and it's awesome to see you say it and then go do it. You've
Yeah,
been great
especially
about that,
because it's so fucking hard. Like it's, I admire your dedication to this because it's something that I could never do because it's just so. I like, dude, I hate sitting in the crowd, Nick. I cannot be up there.
You're funny as fuck. You guys are all funny as fuck. You guys all have it in you to do this.
Being in the
if you
crowd,
wanted
I
to
was
do this.
so worried of having somebody bomb because I just can't do it, man.
See, but at the same time, like you, even you, I'm impressed by you because I know how you are. I know how uncomfortable you are and awkward you are with that shit. But then when all the comedians gave Andy shit, all of them, they all singled you out, and you were fucking right there, man. You gave them exactly what they needed.
I did.
You know?
Well, I mean, I want to help them out. Yeah, I'm trying to help them out.
Though.
Yeah.
But that's
they also
great.
picked on your wife a lot.
Oh my
Oh
god!
my god, that made me
single-
so happy. Like, oh, I'm sure she hated
that.
it. It was great though.
Oh man, I love my wife to death, but she has a fucking huge target painted on her head when it comes to that kind of thing.
Their comments were the most astute things I've ever heard.
So there was a really big chubby guy who started hitting on him, and he was like, "Maybe you can get me a job," like because she was just all like prim and proper.
There's a lot of people that were like, they just kept saying that she looked very employed.
Like,
she was like, you're really gainfully
so
employed.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
And the one dude at the end who like, you know, he's just in all black. He's got like this really scraggly beard. He has like a beanie on, and he's like, don't give me that look. Don't like. Okay, you have a job. Like, don't fucking be so high and mighty. Like, that was one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, those guys. It was a good set, and God bless my wife. She was a good sport about it. When I got home, she's like, "That's why I hate comedy clubs. They always pick on me." I was like, "I know, I love it. I love it so much."
Well, when you sit that close, I think we all knew. We're like, oh, here we go.
It's gotta go.
There are any front row of any club is going to be a different experience, right? Comedy club, strip club. You're getting that unique experience
something
for
unique,
sure.
yeah.
And my wife got that in spades last night. Andy, you could totally do it though.
Nah,
You could.
30-second reviews, man.
Dude, that's your character. All you have to do is get up there. All you have to do is not be afraid to fucking bomb.
I would need like people who follow me on
cares?
Twitter to be in the crowd to
You can
get it.
that. You can get that though.
To get it.
We can make that happen. See, I'm with you, dude. Let's
Yeah.
fucking scheme this
All
shit.
right.
Let's stack the deck. We good.
right.
We good.
I mean, but honestly, like that's what you
30-second
do
set.
eventually, right? Like there aren't a lot of comedians that are big that don't tweet about their fucking show. Of course, you want people who know you and like you and have seen you before or are familiar with the
Absolutely.
work to come.
You want people to want to laugh at the shit. I mean,
Yeah,
that's the thing with the Hassan Minaj special that I keep talking about. Like, his deck was fucking stacked. You look in that crowd and you're like, all of these people went to school with you. All of them.
You know, it's same with anything. Billboard, Joe Rogan, any of those specials, they are bringing people in that like love these people. They're not randomly going, "Hey, have you ever heard of Bill Burr?" And someone goes, "No," and they go, "Okay, cool, come on in and laugh at this guy."
Well, that was the thing when Elliot Morgan was doing his
For the
stand-up
next
special.
topic, I have to pee already. I'm so sorry, guys.
That's okay. Go for it.
Elliot Morgan, when he was doing his stand-up special, was doing the same thing. Yeah, I was like, hey, I'm going to be doing this thing. Yeah, I started. I didn't finish it. It's not because it's bad. I just got caught up.
Now I'm inspired to watch this because like this whole thing is
He's
so
funny. Elliot's funny.
He is. He's very funny.
Yeah.
And it's also interesting to me because I know you can do it. It's funny because me and G have been watching a lot of stand-up comedy on Netflix and HBO over the last couple months, and there's so many times where we're being the armchair critics of it, and we're just like, you know, I don't like this or I do like that or whatever, and it always comes back to like, do you think you could do better than that? It's gonna happen, and I more often than not throw you out there. I'm like, Nick could do better than this. Like, this is before you even do it. I'm like, no, Nick could do it. And there was a question where for a while she's like, I don't think you guys can. Like, you guys are good at what you do,
right?
But I don't know that you can do this. And last night she was like, fuck, man, like Nick can definitely do it. I mean, even at Kind of Funny Live, she was just like, holy shit, she definitely could. And like, I'm convinced you could do it too.
Oh, you could. You
very
both could.
easily.
You both
I think
could. If you wanted
I'd be
to, you
different
guys
though.
but you guys have the mentality of like, if you wanted to do something, you figure out how to crush it. You figure out how to do it. You both do. And that's something that like inspires me like throughout beyond fucking belief is like, I'm like, I know that if Greg Miller wanted to do this tomorrow, like you would not do what I had to do. I have to do this thing where I have to like slowly dip a toe in. You would just say fucking go up on stage. You would literally just be like, cool, I'll just do it open mic tonight. Go up on stage. Like,
what's up, everybody?
Yeah,
so who's heard of my dog Portilla? If you don't know about this big, here's what happened. So like, last night I'm having sex, and we put him on the ground. We say go to bed, but we forgot, of course, that he doesn't have a bed in the bedroom. So what did this idiot do? Walked over there, peed on the ground, started rubbing his face on it. Had to stop having sex, take care of this dog. That's my time. See y'all later.
Done. I mean, seriously.
That was excellent. No,
that was good.
You could definitely
that was good.
All right, fine. Cool, Greg, sign me up.
Let's go.
I'm good. I know it's one of those things where it's just I watch stand-up specials. I feel like it's a weird thing to say. I feel like I grew up watching stand-up. I remember that was always the thing of like on the weekends when it got late, Friday Fox would run stand-up specials from the Comedy Store or whatever, and then I was watching Comedy Central nonstop and SNL and all that stuff. And so I have a deep appreciation for it. Sure. I don't have the passion for it.
Yeah, that's,
like that's okay. Watching what you do, and like when we walked in yesterday, I walked in with Jen behind me, and I saw all of you guys, and I was like, oh, and I saw you off in the corner, like at the window, like talking to yourself, like running the set, and I was like, oh shit. I'm like, hey guys, and then Jen just went, I'm like, honey, and she was gone over to you. I'm like, he's clearly in the middle of something.
No. I just take the opportunity to kind of run through it.
My favorite thing was walking in and just seeing, oh shit, Nick has a second family. Everyone here is there, dude. Like fucking Tony Starks, he's all about you, man.
he's a great guy. It's interesting. It is weird though, interesting that it's a clique thing. Like there's a lot of these guys have been doing open mics together for years, and they're not very accepting of other people.
No, man,
not in a bad way.
I read that too in a lot of ways. Like, and I could just tell there's some people where and again, it gives me flashbacks of like hip hop shit, like shows I've been to where everyone in the audience is a rapper, and it's like that shit's not fun. No. Rap's different than comedy.
Yeah, no, I mean,
rappers like everyone wants to be the coolest person in the room, and that's not cool.
Comedy's cool. It's just most people. It's the same like anything else. It's like, why should I care about you? Yeah. You know, no one's ever been a dick to me ever in the months that I've been doing this. But there is a general like, you're probably gonna quit. So why should I care about you? You know, you're probably gonna. It's the same in jiu-jitsu where people are like, you're cool, but I'll see if you stick around for a few months until you get hurt, and then maybe you won't come back, and that's just the way it goes.
We're proud of you, Nick. I'm glad you're doing this.
Thanks, guys.
And that's what I was saying earlier. Is like you're one of the few people I know who sets goals and then achieves them. I remember when you're like, I want to do this is the pilot idea I have for a cartoon. And then you fucking made kind of an animated series. And then you're like, I want to get over anxiety. And I want to do the MMA stuff that I was jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You went and did that. Now you're doing you're fucking great. You're a good guy.
Appreciate it.
And soon,
thank you guys.
Ish, with no actual release date, you'll have a special on Netflix. Calling it now.
All right. Deal. All right. I'm in.
It's my topic.
Go.
We didn't brief anybody on my topic. So
God damn it.
So I want to first off give another shout out to Tony Sparks right there. This is a logo I drew up for him. If you want to take that to him, you're more than welcome to.
I can take it to him, sure.
It kind of looks like the Mega Man X. Is that what you're going for?
There's a lot going on there, yeah. It's got some video game influences going on. Ladies and gentlemen of the GameOverGreggy show, I love comic books. And here's what I want to do. Is we're going to, for a long time, Tim, don't give me that eye. Don't give me the side eye. I'm just worried.
These topics, they're always either, go for it.
They're always great. I've had a long gestating idea for a business.
Okay.
I will never actually go and do this. I already have kind of funny. I'm too busy.
Give it to Nick. He'll do it.
Exactly. Good point. And that's the difference between me and Nick is I have this long gestating business idea, but I'll never do it. Nick would already have had for it. He'd be franchised and he would know it's different stuff. So today what we're going to do is perfect my business model, and then anybody else can just go and run with it and they can do whatever you want. All right?
I like this.
We're going to save comic book shops.
Oh, interesting.
I love comic books. Comic books are amazing.
Yes.
Comic book shops, equally as impressive and awesome.
Love it.
Okay.
However, I feel terrible as a digital-only person who walks into a comic book shop, doesn't buy anything. I feel that I'm part of the problem on why comic shops are going out of business. I feel the other part of the problem on why comic shops are going out of business is that people complain, comics, I'd love to read them, they're too expensive, I don't know where to start. All these different things that keep people away from the medium, even though you can go get them digitally real great, but I want to hold the book, whatever the fuck your problem is. So what we're going to crack today is what my idea for a comic book shop has been for a long time, and I've moved it now to the 2017 age that we live in. But for a long time would be, I'm not even going to dignify that with a response, except that you sicken me and I hate you.
I walked by a comic book shop 2 days ago. All they had in the front was fidget spinners. No lie.
Which comic shop was it?
Cards and Comic Central on Geary. No. That's where I grew up. It's great.
I understand. No, I'm not knocking that part of it. For the longest time, and I'm talking about back into college, what I've been trying to wrap my head around as a business model is a comics library. A comic shop that would get new issues in and get trade paperbacks in and everything and have them as a library. You don't check the book out, but you come in and then you pay a membership fee, a comic club of some kind, and you get to read unlimited. We have nice couches. It's kind of like Isotope, how they're like the comic lounge.
Sure.
But I'm encouraging you just to come in and read shit.
Right.
You pay
You're just embracing what people are going to do naturally, which is just want to thumb through until they're done with it, put it back.
Exactly.
And
There's a monthly fee a year. Well, that's not. I'm worried. I'm probably weekly would make more sense or whatever. Maybe it's you just charge every time. There's no membership thing, and maybe we figure out a discount card. You know what I mean? But what
rewards?
My problem with this plan was, of course, is like It's going to be hard to manage these people. You have shitty kids coming in, fucking up the books. People are going to be stealing. And so then for a while it was like, well, you got to turn over your ID, but what am I giving you to get back? Am I there checking it? I like the idea that you have 2 comic librarians that are there on staff.
They need a fun name.
Yeah, I know. Well,
Jimmy and Olsen.
No, we're not naming the people. We're naming the role.
Job title.
The job title. The job titles. Sure. Job title.
Jimmy and Olsen, the comic book liaisons.
The librarians. What shouldn't they be called? Librarians? Like the cosmic librarians?
Ooh, cosmic librarian's not bad.
That's like Silver Surfer, right?
Stick with me. Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. It's like that.
Is it from Silver? Is it not from Silver Surfer?
Well,
he's
with Galactus, of course. Well, cosmic is just a thing. He's not Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer isn't the cosmic librarian.
No. There aren't there like Kevin? Aren't there librarians?
You think of the Washers?
No.
Cosmic librarians? There are librarians, but cosmic.
Don't worry about it. You keep going on your flow.
He has like the cosmic. No, it doesn't matter.
He has the power cosmic. I understand that.
The power.
So
Cyclops.
where I've brought it into
X-Men.
Here's the first time where I feel like I've had a eureka moment with this business plan. Is the fact of we have trades there. That's all there. They're labeled. That you can check them out. Maybe I don't know. That part I haven't figured out. Okay. But more importantly, we have a bunch of iPads, and rather than have to do single issues and get them stolen that way, we have the iPad, and so I have maybe a menu showing you what is on every iPad, and you come over and you turn in your ID that way in your membership card, and I hand you the iPad, and you just walk and sit down anywhere there.
And then you read the digital version?
Yeah. Not striking you.
I don't know
not
about
striking
this
you fancy.
whole plan, Greg.
I'm just trying to get. How do we figure the single issues without having them horribly damaged and destroyed?
It has to be digital, and you have to be digital because that's just the way it's going to have to go. You can have physical copies there for sale, I would say, but you have
This whole business plan, it doesn't sound good to me.
Okay, where are my pain points?
The pros of it are the fun of a Borders or a Barnes & Noble of just hanging out, picking up things that you wouldn't necessarily buy, but you're just going to look at and hang out for a while.
Flirting with the boy behind the counter.
Audience is a bunch of high school kids, right? Yeah. That's the problem. High school kids, they ain't got that money.
No. See, my target audience is more our age bracket. I would well, definitely this body type. But I would say something like, 25 to 35, where I don't want to collect comics. I'd like to. No.
That's the problem. Why would they leave when they have
Why
all
would
of
you
this?
go over there?
Huh?
Why would you do this?
The social experience.
Good question.
And I don't want. Okay, come on. We understand it's a good question. Oh, okay. I want the experience, the camaraderie. I want to talk to people about the books I'm reading, and I don't want to pay face value for these books. I want the Marvel Unlimited plan. And like what you're saying, why would I go there? Well, like why doesn't anybody? Why? It's such an empty excuse every time. Oh, I love comics, but they're too expensive. Whatever. We got a million ways to read comics.
What you're talking about already exists at Barnes and Nobles or Borders. What's the one near IKEA, Kev?
Well, they're both the same thing. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
What do you mean?
The same idea.
But the difference between the Borders though is that you can't go back and get every back issue of something. Right?
They have a shit ton.
They have a lot.
Like there's the Border or the Barnes and Nobles near in Emeryville.
Yeah.
It's in the corner, so you're not embarrassed if you're just sitting there reading. No one's going to kick you out. You can just do this whole thing for free.
But again, here's the other revelation I've had. What if we start serving coffee or beer or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh, it gets messy.
Yeah. I'm
especially
thinking
with
just,
the iPads.
Especially if we had then tables.
If someone wash them.
We have nice tables. You know what I mean? You're getting your latte or whatever. You're getting your iPad. You check out and you want to check. What's happening in Miss Marvel?
Unlimited gloves so that you could eat hot Cheetos.
I like that.
Communal tables for sure.
Of course, yeah.
But you have to
like Rudy's
incentivize
barbecue.
community.
Yeah.
I think it's long tables. I think you also do you have some level of board gaming happening in the back?
Of course. I mean, any comic shop these days has to have
You
that.
have to
I was
have that,
very
right? The
impressed when I
tabletop gaming.
went to Edmonton. I want to say it was right, and I went to the comic shop there, which name escapes me. And in the back of the room, they had that whole board gaming setup. You know what I mean? All the long tables there.
Edmonton,
but all the
comics.
kids were playing. Yeah, nice job.
Thanks.
Good job.
Thanks.
All the kids there were playing one of the DS Pokemon games or whatever, and they were having some tournament.
Good for them.
Pokemon.
Yeah, Cards of Comics Central growing up. What really got them? I mean, they have the comics, obviously,
Sure.
but it was the Pokemon cards. It was
Of
the
course.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
That's every comic shop.
Magic. They would do all the tournaments like almost every day in the back. And then eventually when handheld gaming got to the point that it was a bit more multiplayer focused and competitive. I mean, obviously when Pokemon was blowing the fuck up, that's where you got your battles on and all that shit.
Sure.
But then going forward from there, it's like, the Monster Hunter and all that stuff. They always got things going on. I feel like that's important, but then at the same time, there was the boom of the internet cafes.
Yeah.
And then those kind of exploded and those died down. Now they're way more specialty, and it's kind of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So we need to figure out how are we actually going to get people to come to this thing and pay money to do it.
Sure.
Enough to at least pay for the building,
Right.
all of the random ass bills and shit.
Sure,
The electric bill and internet bill,
Right.
and you're gonna need good internet and all that stuff.
You need to pay
And then
you need to pay Olsen and
Yeah, Jimmy and Olsen,
and
Jimmy and their
Olsen,
salaries.
I don't know. It's interesting they took the job and let me rename them, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be hard. I think this whole thing works better as a Patreon,
stand-up
where
comedy.
it's like a club that you meet up. Maybe it's a Google Hangout with people.
See, I don't buy the idea that brick and mortar is 100% dead. I think everything is cyclical, and I think honestly right now, I have a feeling that like every generation, whatever was cool in that generation is not cool in the next one, right? So right now we're in the digital age where like millennials don't want to leave their house and they don't want to actually talk to each
That's
other
the
unless
thing.
they're texting each other.
And we can make it cool.
But I have a feeling that that's going to swing. The pendulum's going to swing back, right? I have a feeling that at some point people are going to yearn for that more, like that physical contact with people, and that's where places like this can come in, right?
Yeah.
Like you're still seeing coffee houses are still that for people, right? They're that area where people can leave. Even if you don't know anyone, you're still going to go to be around people and do your work. Like how many people do you see doing work at a coffee shop? You don't need to do that, but you do it because you want to be out in public and be around people because we yearn for human contact.
And that's the thing is, I feel like you'd go there and like what's getting you out is being able to talk to other people at
Yeah.
comics if you want to. Getting out of the house is always nice, you know what I mean? Just going chilling out in a nice chill spot. And then it would be the fact of the librarians are there in the way of, hey, I want to get into comics. I don't know where to start. What's a good Spider-Man? You know what I mean? And like rather than it be, oh, there's these million things, we're out of stock of this trade and we don't know that thing. We have them all. You know what I mean? You come in, I can give you the consultation right away and tell you what you should be reading, what you shouldn't be reading.
Yeah.
Jumping
I think a key thing that has to happen for this to work
Sure.
is it needs to be 24 hours.
Wow, really?
That to
that's a
me, I
good
think that
idea.
is the difference maker. That it's not just a Borders or a comic book shop.
Can you pay for the utilities?
And
though?
that's the problem. But
lights,
it's
doesn't matter.
well, you can pay for
24-hour
lights.
coffee shops that's a destination event. At any time, like people will be like, you know what? Nowhere else is open. Oh, but that cool place. And it starts to become a buzzing, trending thing.
Now, see,
Whataburger
that's when I
in
start.
Texas.
Exactly. That's when Krispy Kreme back when we were growing up. That and when you're underage, you can't go to the bar. That is a good point. That's when we would get these kids in there and start teaching them about comics.
Yeah.
Not having to be little shitheads though. I don't want any shithead kids here.
No
There's
shitheads.
going to be some shitheads.
I know. We'll have to get
But
rid
you know
of
what?
them.
You got to teach
That's
them.
why
Big
my
sign says no
we'll
shit.
murder
That's
all
why
the
my
change them.
security guard, Cool Greg, will be on the staff to make sure.
So
nothing
Cool
happens.
Greg, Jimmy, and Olsen.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
3
That's it.
employees.
Exactly.
I like this idea. I think this is a place I would
There's
actually consider
something
going to.
here, and I'm serious. There's
big-
something here. I haven't cracked it yet.
Now the
I
question
don't know
is,
what it be.
legally, can you charge a subscription and then give people comics to read? I don't know. I think you can do that, right? Because you're just charging.
Oh, you're
like,
talking
a
about
club
licensing
subscription.
fee, or-
Well, I just mean like on like.
I understand what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like even if you have the Marvel subscription or any of these places, like it's limited. I don't know if I'm sure you could. Like, I'm sure you could just like you're charging admission into the venue, and then you just give people an iPad that has all the comics you've purchased on.
Yeah, you
right?
just have hella
think so.
accounts or something like that.
or just account that has.
Well,
a
see that's
shit.
well, no, see that's what I was running around. Is it's $100 a year for Marvel Unlimited, right? Which also doesn't give me new issues. So I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm running that game. You know what I mean?
Honestly, I think the easy way around it is, and to think as a business person, is it's just a coffee shop and it happens to have all those things. So you're not charging people for the comic subscription. You just happen to have all the comics.
What about Beanie Babies?
No, we're not. No, that doesn't.
He's
help me
bringing
at all.
something up
What
really
about
good.
Pogs? Bring that shit back.
Tassos. We called them Tassos back in the day.
No,
So
you
you can go
didn't.
read.
Nobody
You
called
could
them
go
Tassos.
read comics, play little Tassos, use your slammer. We used to have the make your own Tasso, and mine had Razor Ramon.
Oh, nice. That's a
Yes.
good Tasso to have.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
That's
could like print shit on there. So.
See, I love specialty coffee shops. I'm with Tim on this, right? Coffee has to be great.
I want it to be about coffee.
No, it's not gonna be about
that's-
coffee.
it needs to be about
if
coffee to
if
make
you
the
got
money.
an all-night comic shop open, you gotta serve them caffeine. You gotta.
Well,
caffeinate
sure.
these
There's
kids
gonna
that
be
are coming
coffee
in.
there.
I'm not saying it's got to be.
I don't wanna deviate
the
from our-
centerpiece. I'm saying though, like people need to be able to eat and drink and
Yeah.
have fun and like not in a I'm making you food, but in a hey, here's pastries that are left over from
Macadamia
yesterday,
nut
let's go
cookies.
donuts.
Well,
things
no, I
that.
like again to go back to that movie, The Lost Arcade or
you.
whatever.
Right.
When they closed out the arcade and the other guy started his fighting tournament game shop or whatever, which is just consoles and stuff to come play. they had a fun little scene in there where like somebody's like, hey, if you order Chinese food, it's here at the front. Blah blah. Like I'm totally down with you bringing in food.
Oh, I like
and
that.
kind
Yeah,
of thing,
bars do that a lot in SF.
Yeah.
BYOF.
Yeah, BYOF. Indeed.
BYOC.
I think you can make a lot of money. The thing is, I think Tim's right. Tim's instincts are correct. You could probably pay, if it was a successful coffee shop, that could probably be profitable enough to sustain the real business that you're trying to back into, which is that you
an
want
unsustainable business.
Yeah, well, not necessarily. I mean, subscription models are very, very powerful. It's just how do you do that?
Are they? Are physical location-based subscription models?
It's.
I'll give you this
Shriners Club.
example. Not the Shriners Club.
Sorry.
I'll give you the example of 24 Hour Fitness, right?
Yeah.
People have memberships to these places every month, myself included. I haven't set foot in a 24 Hour Fitness in 6 months.
Same here.
But there's a difference though,
months.
where there's 24-hour fitness everywhere. So it's like there's that thing in your head where you're like, well, even if I was at my friend's house or even if I was on vacation, I could still use it.
Yeah, no, that's true. But there are other gyms that aren't like that, right? There's an SF Fitness, so there's only 2.
Yeah.
So you have, I mean, people more often than not don't, if they're not traveling, they just pick whatever gym's the best price that has the training and the weights that they want, and that's what they go to. And then again, back to my prior point, they don't go.
Yeah.
They just get gustoed out and be like, I'm going to do this and support this thing, and then they just end up not going. I'm not saying we wouldn't want people to go, but that is a benefit of.
Well, that'd be the
having
thing
a
of
place
like
that.
we'd have like the subscription tiers, right? You know what I mean? Of a week, a month, a year, and make the year so attractive that you buy it just on the
Gotta
impulse.
do it, not worry about it.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I mean,
you don't
that's what-
charge to go in though. Like people just go in and hang out, right? Like you're encouraging to come hang out, but if they want to read comics, hey, here are the tiers, right?
I guess, but that gets cumbersome because what about when somebody just leaves something out and then they're sharing with their friend who isn't a sub? I got a problem there.
I mean, sure, but what if you're the only comic book reader and you have 4 friends coming with you? Are you just gonna like, no, sorry, only he can come in? Like,
That's a good point too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I
It's a
don't buy
weird
that
line.
because bars have covers, right? So that's why I think you got to charge the door. I think it's like hey, this is what this place is. It's $5 to enter or whatever, and then you get access to everything. I don't know. Maybe that's.
I think you need laser tag if that's the case.
There's a lot of things, man. It's all the bells and whistles.
Love laser tag.
Well, give them to me. I don't like what you're doing is saying no. I need you to say yes
I'm
because
not. I'm telling you, yes, coffee shop. Because that's what I'm saying. Is like this doesn't work because comic shops don't work.
Coffee and comics is what it's
Like
called.
thinking about like what
that's good
Hunter
time.
and Alexis
Coffix.
are trying to do,
Right.
Where it's like
Tabletop
it's a
gaming.
coffee shop,
Right.
and then there's also gaming and all that stuff.
coffee,
It's
right.
just because I feel like that all the gaming stuff isn't sustainable
On its own?
as its own thing. In ways that it is successful, we see with I forgot what they're called, but like the Foundry, the game.
Yeah.
Oh,
Foundry.
SF Game Night,
Game night.
Folsom Street Foundry.
Yeah. That is an idea similar to this,
Right.
Where it's like it's an event around this thing, but that can only exist because it's shoehorned into someone
booze your
else's
brains
venue,
out.
and
Yeah.
there's
You're getting
there's, like,
beer, you're
there's
getting
beer
food.
and all that stuff to pay for it. I'm saying I love the idea, but as a business, I think that we're missing the key component, which is how do we make money and make it not only just sustain itself, but also get them the ROI.
Right. That return on.
I want trivia nights.
Nasty investment.
Exactly.
We could have trivia games on the thing at all times. You know what I mean? Similar to when you go to the Buffalo Wild Wings. You get your little NTN machine. You play that. Or not anymore. I guess you use your phone now. I'm old, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
No,
I
I know
mean,
what you're talking about.
it is kitschy and conceivable that you just buy a hit ton of comics and only have one issue of everything that's there, and people have to check it out like it is a library, and that's like so you come and you're like I have to wait. I mean, the person's not check it out and leave. I mean, check it out.
Oh, I
and
know what you
like,
mean.
That guy's got Flash number 87 or whatever it is. I want to read that. I'll wait. I'll get a cup of coffee. Wait till he's done. Ask him politely about it. Grab it. Take it from him.
Sure.
So there's that. The other option is if you want to go digital with it, you do what they do at hotels, which is you log in and you either have your login that you paid online, or you can come in as a guest for $5 for the next 10 hours or whatever it is.
See, the digital thing is a huge turnoff to me.
Yeah.
It's easier to manage and control, but then all the appeal's gone.
Okay. Both then. How about both? Because it's
Cool.
not
That could
that
work.
big of an investment to buy every
You're right.
major comic book, just one copy of it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is
That's
smart.
only
That is
every
smart.
month. I mean, how many trades come out in a month that people really want to read? And then you can start backfilling the catalog from there.
Where's
Man,
Stan
you have
Lee
to
going to
buy
work?
all the comics as well.
You just do
Oh,
what you got
that's
to
the
do. You
deal.
take them, you Photoshop them, then you put them together with a staple.
no.
I'm joking around. I'm joking. I'm kidding.
See, there's a lot of issues here.
Now
There's a
I'm
lot
kidding.
of costs coming
Issues.
up. Hey!
Great show, guys. Thanks for
There's
tuning
volumes
in.
of
Jim
issues.
Brewer.
But having to buy all of the
Goat
comics,
Man.
Brewer.
that's gonna add up, both digitally and physically.
Yeah, but I feel like in terms of if that. how much does coffee cost? You know what I mean? Like once we make the initial investment on the coffee machines and cups and such, then I'm just buying coffee and then comics every week. I feel like that's spending not as much money as if I was like turning around and making food or something. You know what I mean? Like if I was a restaurant.
Well,
in terms of the kind
true.
of business I am.
But then you're also not. You need to be making a lot of money as well. I feel like coffee.
See, I feel like
I've ran a coffee shop, so I know.
I was gonna say, Tim and Alfredo ran a coffee shop once.
It's easy to, as long as you have people dedicated to it, make more money than
You're spending. Right.
And if you stay dedicated to it, that's going to keep happening. And that's all about location. And it's all about creating a community feel and like having regulars.
It's all about communication.
It is. It is. Once you get those
Double sex
regulars,
stuff
then
every
you're
Monday.
good as your bare minimum. Then it's about all the extra random people that come through.
Yeah.
So as long as we get that core group of people that will come and subscribe and pay, that's awesome. But I'm worried that there's too many extra factors on top of the coffee that would then make it not worth it.
So let me put this out there. I'm just brainstorming, right? We're just in the
Please do. That's this topic.
What if there's no subscription? What if it costs people absolutely no money to read any infinite amount of comic books?
Yeah.
That's cool, right?
How are they gonna? What are they gonna steal? They're gonna steal the trades.
No, I don't mean that. I mean you're still making sure people aren't stealing shit from you. I'm just saying like, I'm not talking about money wise. I'm just talking about experience wise. It's a coffee shop that you can walk in and read any comic book you want.
Yeah.
That's the pitch to people.
Okay.
That's 24 hours.
It's 24 hours. That's all it is. I don't know how to make money on that. I'm not saying this police not going to go belly up, but I think that should be the
I
starting
think
line.
the coffee's how you make money off that.
I think the coffee is how you
to
make
me,
money off
I
that,
think
yeah.
that's then putting the opus on the people that want to read the comics to support the coffee. And then
But then are we
you'll
just
make the
talking
money
about a
there.
coffee shop that sells comics?
Not anything sell comics.
All right, just
It
let
is
people
just
read
have
them.
the comics,
Sure.
but you make the focus the comics. All
Yeah.
your marketing is about the comics.
So it's comics.
Make the
and
money on
coffee.
refreshments.
24-hour comics.
I can see
Come
I can
here.
see the logo right now. Comics and coffee.
Comics and coffee. There you
There it
go.
is.
Comedians and coffee, getting
yeah,
cars.
cars.
I think you
Or-
should rent
Thank you, Kevin.
out the iPads and then do that same thing. So it's like,
See, I always-
it's coffee, but for $5 an hour, you can read as many comics as you want. They're all on these iPads.
Oh, I don't like the hourly though.
I mean, that's
See,
you
I-
have to restrict it somehow.
I know,
You know
I
what
feel
I mean?
that, but on some part
And
of
it
me, I'm
doesn't
like,
have to. It could even be $2 an hour.
see, on some part
An
of me,
hour is a long time for reading comics.
it's true. You can
Very
read
true.
a shit
Yeah.
ton of comics in an
Yeah.
hour.
You won't
I'm just
get
as
it
far
all
as
out.
as far as me, the thing that gets me excited, and we're brainstorming. Obviously, so we've got to figure out logistics.
We're in the
but
Tree of Trust. It's
We
fine.
are in the Tree of Trust right now. I thought we're not in the Tree of Trust. We're in the Tree of Trust. I like the idea of it's 24 hours. It's free. How do we start? How does that work? Right? How do we make that work and back into that? That's cool to me. That's
Two
exciting
things.
and hilarious to
Two
me.
things.
We need Bernie
One,
Sanders,
coffee.
Great looking dudes behind the counter.
2,
Jim and Olsen.
earlier I brought up Patreon. Crowdfunding. There should
Sure.
be a crowdfunding element to this. For
Like
people to support.
give if you want.
Yes, it is a subscription thing, but it's more the PBS model.
Rich people will give.
Rich people will
if
fucking
they
give.
wanted
Rich
to
people don't
exist.
give.
You got to have the historic aspect to this. It is almost a museum. It is trying to make sure you can't find these one-off issues anywhere else. You
I
can
got
find it-
mangas here.
We're preserving this.
You have to have one.
Manga's huge. You need to really double down.
Oh,
on that.
yeah.
You have to have
Yeah.
one comic book that's
Anime
so
body pillows.
exclusive that you put it in glass with those little
Yeah.
gloves that you have
Yep.
to slide
Yep,
your
yep,
hands into to read it.
Yeah.
That
Action
has to be
Comics number one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that has to be that. People can actually tactile, and if anyone rips it, you punch them right between the eyes.
Jesus.
So they're
Fucking
always
break your
cross-eyed for the rest
fist.
of their life.
Maybe don't even touch it. Like there's a button and it pushes like a gust of
Oh, it
air and
goes-
it's
they have those.
Smart.
Yeah, I do think that's a business model, and especially if you actually had an actual Patreon to back it up, I think
Yeah.
people would be all about that.
What am I giving you on the Patreon?
It could just be like Collins, where it's just support me.
Yeah.
You know, you're not getting
Yeah.
anything from it. It's just like, hey, please.
We're doing
this.
like if you support, it allows us to do this.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what
Yeah.
you're getting, right?
Support,
It's like-
support the movement. Comic book shops are going out, but like we know how
Yeah.
important they are. We know the community that we can have, like, and people are all about
like
that.
when Wikipedia tells you, "Hey,
Yeah.
how about you
Yeah.
donate? We have this awesome thing going." And
I donate.
people with money will give money.
I do.
you donate to Wikipedia.
I do. I give them like
I did it
$15
once.
a year.
Yeah.
I gave him
$50 a year.
15.
Oh.
Yeah, I think
Nah,
I gave
what the
him.
fuck,
I think I
I'm
gave him
not-
like $10 last
I'm
year or something like
balling.
that. Yeah.
I give them a little bit. I mean, I use Wikipedia every day. So I'm like, I should give you guys some money. Now, granted,
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of articles that I've heard of that people are like, don't give them money. They have plenty of money, yada, yada. I'm like, what the fuck? I use this product almost every day. I'm going to give them a little bit of cash.
So how much money are you giving to Pornhub?
Pornhub
It's an interesting. They have a
That's a
weird sort of
great-
membership.
question.
Function.
You know, to be perfectly honest, I've never once signed up for any porn site. ever.
Same here.
That's good.
And actually, to be fair, if it were destigmatized, I'd probably give them a lot of money. But I'm worried that somewhere down the line, it's going to be like someone's going to be like, Nick gives these guys thousands of dollars.
No one would be surprised, Nick.
Oh, we know what's wrong with you.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, we're missing one key element of this. Like, I'm not sure what it is, but it needs to be another revenue stream.
Celebrity endorsement. Greg
Well,
will come
that's
to your
not
house.
Stan Lee, I'm
Greg will
telling you
come
to
to your
work.
house and tuck you in every night.
Like multiple events, like a week. So
Sure,
3
there's
days,
nights.
Yeah, 3 days a week, different nights that like get people to come.
Yeah.
And with someone like Greg's following, I feel like, you know.
You do like
Or
what you
even
did
Planet
down
Bunny's
at
following.
that LA comic shop.
Now, where is this?
What is it, the Melt?
Downstairs
Meltdown.
at the empty
Meltdown.
spot. Let's make this happen, guys.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
If we open the comic or
eating shop?
comics and coffee, we open up next to Comic Outpost, and we're like, "Fuck you, we are coming straight for you, assholes."
We open up a coffee shop next to it, break that fucking wall
Break
down.
that fucking wall.
Break the walls down.
And that's the first start.
And we
And
just
that's
have
the
it
first start,
walls
yeah. Because that, I mean, that
Because they already
honestly,
have their comic audience.
yeah, it's true.
All
it's like-
they-
See, there's some. That's the thing is they do trivia nights down there. They just advertise them poorly, and we're never in town when they do them because they had a Batman night the
Did
Friday
they?
after E3.
You would've cleaned up on
No,
that.
you and I would have gone there because they had one that
Downstairs?
was just about movies.
Where do you even sit?
Fuck.
You stand around probably.
You stand
Oh,
around.
that's weird.
That's the problem too. Is that is like your typical comic book shop that doesn't have a lot of room. The Meltdown, which I believe we went to once.
We did,
together.
yeah. When we were
That
killing
is-
time before Kevin Smith.
It's got that whole back room.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of areas to sit, video games, lots of crazy shit and stuff. I love that space. I think
Yeah,
that's really
it's a
cool.
great space.
And Drucker, I think, just promoted that he's doing another show, one of those shows
Yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah, that's not a thing.
Yeah, comedians playing bad video games.
Yeah, Shit Arcade. The thing I did at E3.
Shit Arcade, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of stuff works, but to be fair, that stuff it has to be secondary. You're right. The revenue stream has to be the coffee, the good food.
No, we're not bringing food in this. No one's bringing food in.
pastries. I'm not talking about food. I'm talking like
If we're bringing
hey, I
food
want
in,
that
then guess
muffin.
what? We're doing it right now. We're calling it Wings and Coffee, and we're taking over
Let's
Wing
do it.
Wings, and
Oh
we're
my
putting
God.
fucking
Coffee.
Yeah, terrible.
First off, you can't do wings in comics. It just doesn't work. You're gonna have fucking fingerprints everywhere. It's
I'm
just not
aware.
gonna
That's
be-
why I'm
it's not
saying
gonna
no
be the
food.
case.
I don't want anybody's.
Well, there'll be. I'm gonna
Grubby
say food
paws in
again.
there.
I mean cookies.
That's not
You know how
unlimited
much money you
gloves.
make
I
on
already
cookies?
said. I already saw
Damn it,
this.
Andy. We don't have
Who wants to
money
wear
for
your
unlimited
fucking weird
gloves.
Serial killer gloves that you wear on the office all the time when no one's looking at you.
What?
Just put this on, and then I'm gonna carve up Kevin. He's gonna taste good.
I would never eat Kevin.
Audience, I need your help in the comments below on this video, please. Or if you're in the comments below on this video, let me know what we're missing, what would entice you to do this. If you're driving your car and listening, just roll down the window and shout it out. Just shout it out. I'll hear it.
Memberships.
Just shout it out. Let me know. Tim, what's your topic?
My topic is criticism. Specifically, like like paid critics.
Oh yeah.
Or people whose job it is to be a critic. And then people whose job it isn't to be a critic, but they have opinions. So my thesis here, the statement is, I don't think people are good at being critical about things
Okay.
overall.
Okay. So you're saying as a group,
Yes.
in general, the vast majority of people suck at criticizing.
I think that's a bad criticism.
Really? Well, we can get into that. But my thing is, then there's the people that rise above the rest.
Sure.
There's the people that get paid to do it.
Turn the crop.
Greg Miller reviewing games at IGN
Right.
for a long time. So there is a lot of thought put into that.
Dave
You look
layer
at
of 4.
what
0.9.
Okay.
you look at what we do, which our job is essentially to just hang out.
Yeah.
But we give opinions.
We do.
And I would say that
And they are critical sometimes.
They are critical. But I feel like I then hang out with my friends, and one of my best friends, James Burke, has, in my opinion, one of just the worst tastes in human history. This is a dude that will watch, and he's the reason that Resident Evil made it to 7 movies,
Yeah,
8
he is.
movies. He's the reason that Transformers is on its 5th. Like all of these franchises, he's ride or die for.
The comments are going to be like, "Oh, but Tim loves Fast and the Furious."
Exactly.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
But that actually backs up a lot of what I'm saying here. I have never, and I will never say the Fast and Furious are perfect movies.
They're not good movies.
And it's like, I mean, I wouldn't say that they're not.
They're not good movies in traditional, like, hey, you think this movie is a great movie. There's something to them. There's something undeniably enjoyable about them, especially as you watch more and more. It gets better as a series as a whole because it adds to itself and it adds to the universe that it's creating. But, like, I can't in any good conscience say that any of the Fast and Furious movies is a great movie. Like, I don't put it up in the same light that I'd put up like fucking Braveheart, or Hunt for October or Die Hard. I don't put them there. Having said that, there is that other category of movies that are they're fucking enjoyable. They're super fun, and that's why we love those, in my opinion.
So James, his quote, the thing that we always make fun of him for, is he'll leave any movie and he'll be like, guys, it's not that bad. And it's just
that
like,
a lot too.
Dude,
you know what? It's pretty good.
No, it was
bad.
that bad.
Not terrible.
Like, I don't understand what it was about that you were into. And then James and a lot of other people will jump on me and be like, you're just too critical of everything. And I'm like, fair. But I feel like that's the point of enjoying these things, watching these things, thinking about these things. Like, if you're just going to take it as it is and it's just entertainment, that's fine. But the moment that you have a conversation, I feel like we owe it to ourselves to really think about what we liked and what we didn't like and what worked and what didn't and why it didn't, especially when it's our jobs to talk for an hour at a time after we watch a movie.
Yeah.
Like Wonder Woman, I wasn't a part of the reacts, but I saw it afterwards and we did a little bit of conversation on it in the morning show. And it's like, I enjoyed Wonder Woman a lot. I think that from the standpoint of the DC universe, I can't believe it was as good as it was. I did not see that coming. And I think that it's a very important movie for so many different reasons in the industry, being directed by a woman, making as much money as it did. Like, there's so much different factors that go into it. However, I have a lot of issues with the movie. Sure. I thought that it was paced very poorly. And I thought that the third act was super weak. And there was a lot of problems I had with it. But I feel like me saying all that stuff, it bothers me that the initial reaction from so many people is, oh, you're a Marvel fanboy. It needs to turn into this or that.
Sure.
I just don't like that everything has to be good or bad, and there's no room for a gray area without your opinion then being criticized as being either a fanboy or an idiot.
Yeah. Well, I think that, you know, it just depends. Like, you're obviously, I think you like movies a lot more than the average person, right? And you also, as a career, have chosen to pick a field where you get to be critical of things, right? It's our job to kind of like know what's going on and have at least a few reference points for the things that we're talking about, right? Like, if we had no idea what was going on with the DC universe and went into Wonder Woman, that's a different perspective than basically living with Greg Miller. So, you know, I think to the average person, like, I don't think they care enough about this entertainment medium, like specifically movies, to really have that level of education on it, right? And I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily. I think
it's... Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I thought you were going to
No, it's okay.
Yeah, I think it's also an expectation game, right? In the way that so many people, when somebody's like, oh, man, you'll be like, oh, that movie sucks. The response, oh, it's just a popcorn flick. You go and you turn your brain off, you enjoy it, which is a fine response. Also, I think it's worth pointing out that I hate being on our movie reacts because I feel like I don't have a leg to stand on. I don't have this extensive knowledge of film and stuff like that. So, like, if it's not a DC film or like a superhero I super care about, like Spider-Man's different. I have a history with Spider-Man, right? If it's something else, like, I'm always just like, it's fine. Anytime you guys like will see something, you'll give me the out because you need somebody else. I'm like, yeah, totally. Put Sean Finnegan, put Ransky in there, whatever. Yeah.
There is a component of that too with me, where I know how hard it is to make small projects that are 30 seconds. So there's so many fucking hours and hours and hours that go into making these films that there is a small part of me that thinks, who the fuck am I to like render an opinion critically on these people's work? Like, Batman v Superman may have, you have your opinion on that. Greg thinks it's one of the greatest movies
I do
ever
not
made.
think it's one of the greatest.
He thinks it's better than Dark Knight.
Rises, and it's not even a thinking. That's proof. That's proof. That's proof.
You know, I look at it and I see some issues that I had that deterred it, like, made it less enjoyable for me. And so I think it's okay to render that opinion, but at the same time, you do always sort of have to keep in the back of your mind the old adage that it's easier to criticize than it is to create. Like, it always will be, right?
But I feel like my stance on this, and kind of a big thought I had going into this topic, is that's true. However, I do feel like if we're paying for things and if we're looking at things, we deserve better. Like, Glow is a perfect example to me, where I was really excited for Glow and I really enjoyed Glow. And looking around Twitter, people are obsessed with it and they're acting like it is a 10 out of 10 perfect thing. And I'm like, it was really enjoyable, but I do believe it should have been better.
Sure.
And there's so much things like that I'm just like, man, when it comes to TV, there's so much out there that is great. When it comes to movies, there's so much out there that is so fantastic. And then I'm like, I see things and I'm like, all right, well, I understand there's politics. I understand business and that money needs to be made and all of that. But I do feel like while it's easier to criticize than to create, I don't think that means that creations can't be criticized. And I feel like
not at all. And I
think
it's an incredibly important component of the creative process, right? If you're not willing to put your work out there in front of an audience that may or may not like it, then you're missing out on the whole point of doing the work in the in the first place.
Yeah.
And there are people that, and you see it, and it hurts. I mean, we've been criticized for stuff that we do. You see it in comments every once in a while. People leave bad comments and stuff. You're like, God, it fucking hurts.
Absolutely.
But you have to just be open to that.
Going from there, like we do mainly,
feedback.
we do a lot of podcasts and stuff.
Yeah.
And when we do good podcasts, I'm like proud of it. There's a lot of times where it's like I don't think of what we do as creating. I just think of what we do as talking. And of course, there's a skill level, and I'm not trying to take away from what we do.
Sure, but it's not as hard to do a podcast as it is to make a fucking Fast and Furious movie.
I wouldn't
Boston
want,
and I was like,
I wouldn't want to make
now.
a short film unless I was proud of it.
Sure,
you know?
sure,
Unless
sure.
I was, and like, or even when we do things that, like, for example, the music video that we just put out, the Lucy Camp's new music video.
Yeah.
Like, I know what went into that, and it was a lot of work. However, if people had criticism of it, I would totally be like, I'm just as critical of it as
Sure.
anyone else should be.
Sure.
You
Yeah,
know?
and again, I'm not saying that I'm not taking the stance, the hardline stance that all critics should stop doing what they're doing. I think it's very good. I think it's an important checks and balance system, right? I think you have a lot of people out there that are very, very educated, but the problem with critics in general is the same issue you always run into in any medium that's being critiqued, is that it is just an opinion as well. So your opinion and my opinion differ pretty, like we like some certain things, but we like it. Even on Glow, I'm like, I'm really enjoying Glow. To me, it's not a 10 out of 10, but I think I'm enjoying it a lot more than you are because I'm bringing different
you
things to
haven't finished it yet, so
It's true.
I'd
I'm
be
only on
interested to
episode
see where you
6.
fall, because I did really enjoy the show.
Yeah.
But I think that's another thing too that I see a lot is that I've seen this comment about all of us except for Andy. You're a little bit newer to this.
And everybody fucking loves you. I see the Reddit. What a great hire.
Oh, I'm gonna get it.
my
Yeah.
Where it's like,
his hair is amazing.
like, oh, Nick's so high and mighty, Greg's so high and mighty. They think that their opinion is better than anyone else's. They're the only ones that matter. I'm like, no, they just believe in their opinion and they're putting it out there, right? And I think that's the thing. Like me and you, for example, there's so much that we disagree on, but I understand where you're coming from. There's sometimes I think you're crazy. Like
sometimes I'm crazy.
Spider-Man Unlimited.
Spectacular?
No, Ultimate Spider-Man.
Ultimate Spider-Man versus Spectacular Spider-Man
think
is a
you're
perfect example.
crazy
right?
for having
And here's
that
a perfect
opinion.
example of why you have to take not critique with a grain of salt, but you have to understand that it is just opinion based. Is because I liked that show more because I was at that point in my life looking for a zany, stupid cartoon, and it hit on a couple levels with me because it had a Die Hard reference in it. I was like, that's awesome. It had a Die Hard reference in it. That's clearly aimed at a slightly older audience because kids don't know what the fuck Die Hard is. Like, no kid that was born after 2000 knows the scene from Die Hard that's when he's climbing through an air vent, like, come out to the coast, we'll have a couple laughs. They don't know that.
Come on.
That was come on. That's Steven Seagal for everyone else. And he does a wicked Steven Seagal. But that's what I'm saying. Like, so getting back to the point, that to me was what I wanted at that point. Then when I went and saw Spectacular Spider-Man, I'm like, this is a show that's trying to do something new with Spider-Man, and I don't like that because I don't want it right now. Right. And so I look at Ultimate Spider-Man, and it really is that initial, like, where was I? How did it hit me the first time? And then I already had that. And then when you said go to Spectacular Spider-Man, I was like, nah, I want this zany, stupid, breaking the fourth wall, talking, like, they all become little tiny miniature running around, like, more Disney-fied Spider-Man.
But I think there's a difference too between liking something and saying whether or not something's good.
It depends on the criteria, right? I enjoyed the shit out of Ultimate Spider-Man when it was on. I enjoyed it more than Spectacular Spider-Man. To me, I'm not trying to critically analyze cartoons like that. I just didn't feel the need to do that, right? It's not the same, like I brought up Braveheart. I wouldn't give that the same lens that I would look at Braveheart critically with, right? That is a movie that is a fucking masterpiece of filmmaking. Same with like a movie like Last Mohicans. Like, you go back and watch that and you're like, Jesus, that's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I don't need that experience in my Disney XD Spider-Man show. I think it was on XD. I can't remember what it was on.
I don't think XD existed back then.
I think Ultimate was on XD.
Yeah, I think
Spectacular was on Fox.
XD didn't exist till the IGN show.
That's fair enough.
You're right.
But I get that, and again, but that's part of the thing too. Is like, I think what you're breaking down to is there's a component of it that's people just want to either have their opinion heard or get that energy out there, whether it be positive or negative, and not necessarily worry about whether it's educating other people. And I think that's what we kind of always angle our stuff at, right? When I start critically breaking something down and you have a better point, I like that. I like that discourse. I love going to movies with Sean Finnegan and hearing his high art impression of why the movie was good or bad, because it gives me a different perspective on, and it educates me, and it makes me grow as a film viewer, and hopefully one day as a filmmaker. Right. And I think that's important. But oftentimes people just go, that thing sucked.
That's not criticism. That's not criticism.
You're just being a dick, right?
Yeah.
Why did it suck? What didn't you like about it?
And see, that's my thing with me, where I feel like it's interesting with what we do in the way of, I'll sit there and critique a Superman movie or whatever, or the Suicide Squad, tell you why I think it failed or whatever. But I'm doing it from a comic book fan, whereas with you guys, you talk in film in a way that I just don't understand or think about movies. And you bring up points I never thought about, and it took this falling apart in the third act business took me so long to be like, oh, every movie falls apart in the third act.
Which, by the way, is the second you hear someone say that it fell apart in the third act, and you hear us say it all the fucking time, it is like the #1 cliche, pretentious thing to say about film critique.
It is, but I think that's the problem. Though, is like I feel like there's a couple of these things that everyone falls back on when they're critics,
right?
But that's because there is a trend.
There is a trend. Right? Oh no, there's a trend. Like horror movies are always the same. It's great setup. The middle's all the tension. Third act, you're like, oh, well, that was a letdown. And they're just running away from this dude.
Going back to my original point,
the first act.
James Burke's favorite movies are horror movies, the horror franchise movies, the Nightmare on Elm Streets, the Halloweens, like those.
Classics.
And it's so interesting to me because like when I comparing those to things like Get Out or other horror movies
that's innovating on
or like
on
Don't Breathe, like we saw last year.
Fucking so good.
Things like that. I'm like, these are really
that are a lot
good
more with substance.
And I feel like they don't fall apart in the third act. And I think that's the key to a good, like when you're trying to be critical of it, horror movie. Whereas these other ones, they have a different audience. They're almost more similar to what you're talking about with the Spider-Man cartoons.
Yeah.
And I get that. But that doesn't mean that they are just absolved of criticism and that they're not allowed to be looked at as what they are and being criticized for even being that. And that's why I think that Fast and Furious, when I talk about how great it is, I'm talking about I'm criticizing it compared to what it is trying to accomplish and what it is in the world. And I think it does a great job compared to what the last fucking 10 Halloween movies did.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
Now, here's one thing I want to do, because you've been ornery this entire show, Tim. All right? Ornery.
Don't know what that
You've been angry, you've been surly, you've been doing this. You've been dragging James Burke's good name through the mud. And so what I want to point out, how dare you, number one. Number two is we went and saw a movie. I've only seen one movie in the theater with James Burke. It was We Come at Night.
It Comes at Night.
It Comes at Night. And we all universally like that was horrible. So he's not totally off base with his movies. All right.
Now, so there's another thing with James though, is that he does not like good movies. Like the movies, any movie that is being praised by art houses and all these, James isn't going to like it. Well, going into that movie, we didn't like it. We all had that consensus, but we didn't like it for different reasons.
But see, that's the thing. There's a lot of people like that. I'm like that sometimes too, where I really like movies that appeal, like that adhere to that sort of like classic Coke Hollywood screenwriting format, which is like, that first act, the second act, third act, all the beats hit where they're supposed to hit. And sometimes you see that and you're like, this is a movie like it's comforting because you've seen that so many times and you just want that experience.
Force Awakens.
Even though, Force Awakens is actually a perfect example of that, right? It's great. Why? Because it's a perfect representation of, like, I think Lawrence Kasdan wrote that, and he knows how to write a really good Star Wars movie that has a great beginning, middle, and end, and he did it again because he pretty much just rewrote A New Hope, which he didn't write to begin with, but we're mixing hair or splitting hairs here. So I like those experiences sometimes, but you have to know that you're going in for that. And I don't blame him for looking at Get Out and being like, I didn't like it, because when you're expecting classic Coke and someone gives you a Bolin Cola, like you're like, oh, this is cool, and it's like a artisanal, soda with real cane sugar in it, and it tastes good, but you wanted a Coke. Like there's gonna be a disconnect there, and you have to be open to that new experience, which I think a lot of people just aren't.
Mass Effect Andromeda.
Sure.
I know this isn't the games cast, right? But because
we're not just exclusively talking movies here,
because I care about that franchise a lot. When that game first came out, and everybody was shitting on it with the GIFs and the wonky animations and all this stuff, like it bothered me, and I actually put out a tweet that I deleted because I was kind of embarrassed by the tweet, frankly, and I think I said like, everybody making fun of this game could not make anything that like half as cool as that in their lives. And then I was like, oh, that's a really shitty thing to say, so I deleted it because it's not true. But
it's not true.
But yeah, it was just getting shit on, and I guess because the game means so much to me personally, like that whole franchise, it just hurt me that like, like these things fuck up. Like games have bugs, but when you're a higher profile name, that shit is magnified.
Get a bigger target on your back.
And yeah, so when how Twitter was that whole week, I was so annoyed by it.
If that game had been put out by a small indie studio that had been working on it for 5 years, do you think it would have taken as much criticism?
No, not if it was not if they had like predecessors of a prior trilogy in place already. Yeah, I don't think so.
So you think because it's BioWare, because it's a triple?
Well, it's because it was Mass Effect.
It's because it's Mass Effect, and because the prior 3 games are like fucking
classics.
Great, you know.
Well, I'm saying like take those classics out of it. Take the prior 3 games that came. This game's called Space Odyssey, and it's just about a bunch of cool space people odysseying around.
Yeah, sure.
And you played it, you'd be like, okay, this is cool, but like, do you still think it would garner the same criticism, and would those be warranted?
I mean, it wouldn't be as hot because first of all, the game probably would not be that popular, but
sure.
People would probably be like, oh, check out this small indie studio made this fucking cool game,
right?
With all these, you know, NPCs and characters that you could fall in love with and fuck.
Yeah.
But
well, it's the counter. It's the other side of the coin to Zelda, right? Where people are like, well, would Zelda be getting perfect 10s if it wasn't Zelda? If that came out with a different name and was just a game some people were playing.
Greg, this is an interesting question for you though, because out of the 4 of us, you actually got paid to be a critic.
Sure.
Was there ever a time when you felt, oh man, I just like, this doesn't feel right to actually render judgment on this game? Like when you first started, were you like, Layer 4.9? Did you feel bad about that at all?
Oh yeah, you feel bad about it, but I mean, you feel bad about it in the way that like every game you play, you want to be great because you know there's an audience for that. You know people, and no matter how shitty the game is, somebody spent years and years of their life making that thing and happen. So like when you see a project not come together or something, it always sucks. But it's not like it sucks to the fact that you're gonna sit there and pull punches or not say stuff. I mean, I look back and I think I was, you know, too mean in certain things. I think you look back at one of my younger reviews, I don't think I ever said anything about a developer being lazy, but I would definitely be like, I can't believe, you know, how did they, like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know what I mean? That's not how it is. But no, I don't think you get caught up in that fact of it. And like that's easier too because then suddenly you're like, you know what you're doing, you're talking, there's not rules to it, but this is what I'm talking about where it's like, by the time I started reviewing video games for IGN, right, I knew what I wanted to do. I'd been training for that. I knew I'd been playing forever and years. And granted, I've watched movies forever, but I've never watched movies with a critical eye. Like I try to now, right? You know, to step up to talk to you guys on the level you do, which I can't. But to go in there and be more than just like, well, I liked it because I didn't like this, or I didn't like this character. I didn't, you know what I mean? Or what were they talking about motivations and things like that the mainstream doesn't think about, I think, when they watch a movie or a TV show or anything at that point.
That's another good point too, is that I think a lot of people in the mainstream like might walk out and be like, I didn't like it.
Yeah,
and not know why.
And not sit there. And that's always my main thing of like when we come back from these movie reviews and I'm like, it was good. Like I hate it. That's what I come back and I'm like, I don't mean it's like, why didn't I like it? What's wrong with it? Where do you go? How do you balance that out?
I also hated going to the movies when I was young. Like I only wanted to go to movies that I knew for a fucking fact that I was gonna love, like a Christopher Nolan movie. And that's about it, right? You know, or like Marvel. You know,
when he was young, you
most Marvel movies. Oh no, I mean, I guess I hated paying money and then coming out and being like, "Well, that sucked."
Yeah,
I just wasted money, you know. And so I only went to movies that I knew for a fact that I was gonna come out with some sort of enjoyment of, like an 8 out of 10.
Sure.
You know, but now I feel like we have to see these movies, right, to talk about them, and it's a little bit more. It gives me anxiety. I was like, oh fuck, what if this movie sucks? Like, I spent like $34 like on popcorn and a ticket and all that shit.
That's the risk you take.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, it's kind of summed up as I think I've maybe seen. I think I can count on my hands the amount of movies I've walked into a theater and seen by myself. Because what I love more than fucking anything in life is that conversation after a movie. Good or bad, doesn't matter. Like I have some of my happiest memories growing up, and even to this day, are we all walk out of a movie and it's like, even to this day, Greg will always say we start talking and Greg's always like, save it for the show. Like but I love that. I love that energy because you just want to like.
I mean, that's why we talked about it when we first started this. Like, I still think we should figure out a way that Rex just filmed in the car on the way home.
That'd be like, so cool.
That would be so much better.
We have so many conversations in the car ride home that then we get here and we're like, well, we were talking about this a second ago, or like you always talk about it, like you'll take a point someone else said and feel dickish about it, but like you just did it and like nobody cares. But
because I just love that. But that is what I'm talking about. It's what we're doing is being critical of it, and whether that's in a good or bad way. Sure. But and I feel like we do this a lot. Is we jump to the things we don't like instantly.
That's easier, right? That's always easier to identify.
And it's like, but I feel like that's where it gets fun, because it's like obviously we know the things that we like, and if it's like, dude, we love that movie, but then it's like, oh man, but here's how it could have been better.
See,
you know,
but
I think Zelda's a perfect example for
Yeah.
me, where it's like it's the things about that game that I'm like, okay, man, I wish there was more dungeons. I wish the story was there was an actual story,
Right.
like, things like that. But otherwise, it's like this is a masterpiece, you know.
Yeah.
And like let's talk about why it's a masterpiece.
Metal Gear
but
Solid 5 is good. It's great.
It is fantastic, but it doesn't
phenomenal.
have a story.
Jim
And I
Brewer.
wish it did have a story. I wish it had more iconic boss fights. Like, but me saying that stuff doesn't make
Doesn't take away from your
doesn't take away
enjoyment of
that
it.
it's so freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's natural too, but I also think that you can train your brain to like, well, not necessarily train your brain, but I think that you can force yourself to focus on the positive of movies too. And that's why a lot of my friends will tell you that I have terrible taste in movies. It's not the case. I have broad taste in movies.
Daddy's Home.
Because there's a lot of things that I look at and I'm like, like a movie like Daddy's Home. I'm like, it's not, I don't look at this
As
through
a
the same
piece of art.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm going into this. I'm going to try to find the jokes that I think are funny, and I'm going to tell people about those jokes, right? And I like doing that. It's the same reason why I really like the John Wick series, right? An argument can be made that the John Wick movies are terrible. You could go in and watch them and be like, there is fucking no story here. There is no character
dog,
development. There's no B story. There's nothing. Nothing really happens. At no point do you think he's ever going to lose in John Wick, you know? But that's not what those movies are about. Those movies are about saying, hey, we're going to take this one little thing, this action, right? And we're going to make it as fucking cool as you've ever seen in your life. We're going to make an art form out of action. And they've, in doing so, and in cutting out all the rest of that fat, they actually elevate. But if you went in with that mindset of like, I'm going to find everything that's wrong with this movie and hate on it, you're going to miss all that. If you go in saying, I'm ready for a new experience, we'll just see what comes at us, then you're going to see John Wick and be like, dude, that has some fucking cool moments in it.
I just feel like people need to be better about making that distinction going in and being critical on John Wick based on what it is, which is an action movie.
Yeah.
That not just an action movie, but it is focusing on action. You don't need a B plot. You don't need all those story elements and stuff.
You don't in this.
Yeah, like being critical of the thing as it is, I think is different than just judging every movie against each other or every game or every TV show. It's just like I think every single thing needs to be judged in the context of what it is, which is why I think that when we talk about superhero movies, there's so many different genuses that we talk about from it, where it's just like we compare Wonder Woman to the DC movies. Then if it's good, we take it up, in our opinion, a step further to the Marvel movies. It's like, is it as good as this? And then we start having that conversation of, is it as good as Spider-Man 2? Is it? And it's like, I feel like there's so much different things you compare it to. And then there's the question of, all right, is it a good movie? Because that's where I think that the Dark Knight trilogy goes, where
two of them,
the Dark Knight goes, where it's like, okay,
Thank
cool.
you, Kevin.
You can compare that how is it as a superhero movie? How is it as a DC movie? How is it as a just movie? And I think that is the conversation I like having.
Yeah, I think it's a good place to start and be.
Andy, take us home.
It's the year 3042.
What?
The world is destroyed. Destruction, chaos.
Okay.
What is your favorite gum?
God fucking damn
Wait,
it.
what? This is not what I expected.
Like you know, I get.
This is not the topic.
Okay,
He's
we don't
always
have.
on the
Okay,
show.
we don't. We can save
it's
the
fine.
gum. We can do the gum.
No.
topic
Let's do the
later.
gum. Let's do
no,
gum.
No, we'll do the gum topic later. So you're 3042. There's destruction, chaos.
Okay.
The only thing that can save our planet is the power of music.
Okay.
The government puts together a task force. We are the task
We're that
force.
task force. Great.
To bring back and reform the Black Eyed Peas with new artists.
Wow. So
So the people in 3042, we got to find.
Also remember,
No.
you're so 2008. No, I'm so 3008.
You're so 3008.
2008.
No, 2000. Okay, great.
So this is
Great.
30 years past that. Okay.
We have to reform the Black Eyed Peas, guys.
Okay.
Now,
we
can bring back.
You're 3034 using today's artists.
It's weird technology, Nick.
It's
okay?
Terminator technology.
Yeah.
So we're allowed to use today's artists.
Oh yeah, we have.
I don't know any
Wait,
artists from
is this like
3034.
is this like
Migos.
DC?
Migos
Is this
still
like
around.
DC Legends of Tomorrow? Can I use artists from any time period?
Any time period. Yes.
Okay,
So hold on, real quick before we go.
Yeah.
I want Nick and I to list the members of the Black Eyed
Okay,
Peas so we can
now-
fill these roles.
Okay. Go for
So
it.
first of Fergie, we know Fergie.
We know Fergie.
Now to be clear, Fergie wasn't always a member and is no longer a member.
We're putting her in our Black Eyed Peas.
We need a
I want everyone to know
we need
this.
a
Black Eyed
female
Peas
in our Black Eyed
exists
Peas.
with her and with her only.
Black Eyed Peas started.
There is no
and it
Black
was
Eyed
just
Peas.
a rap
They were
group.
just a habit.
Then
Number
they
two.
added her. They got famous.
Number 2.
Now she left.
Wyclef
After that,
Jean.
no
Wyclef
money.
Jean.
Wyclef Jean?
Wyclef Jean.
No.
Really?
Quest.
Fuck, that one I thought was real.
He was in the
Questlove's
Fugees.
Questlove's is in the Roots.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Fallon's band.
You're right. Wyclef Jean was Fugees, right?
Yeah.
Okay. There is someone like that though.
There's a guy that looks like a vampire.
Okay, hold on. Well, it's Dave Navarro.
No, not that either.
The dude that did
Can you
Nine
name
Inch
them
Nails.
all?
Let's stop for a quick
I
second.
think we could.
I can
stop-
name the second one.
Let's stop for a quick
Will
second.
I Am.
one.
God damn it, that's
Kev
what
had
we're thinking
one.
of.
All right.
Will I Am.
So
Am.
now,
The vampire guy, right?
No, he's not the vampire guy.
so we have 2. Nick, how many members total do you think are in the Black Eyed Peas?
5.
See, I'm gonna go 4.
There's 4.
4.
There is 4.
Okay.
There is 4.
Flea.
No.
No, he plays bass for
Anthony
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Kiedis.
Close.
He also sings in Red Hot Chili Peppers. Different group, actually.
I'm out of people. I don't know.
What is that? The Filipino vampire guy? Apple
Apple-bottom
cart.
jeans.
Applebee?
Boots with the fur?
Not Applebee's.
Applebee's.
Chili's.
Applebee's has rats. I got a whole rat in my Cobb salad.
Damn. I should know this.
You gotta look it up.
I'm looking it up. I got it.
All right, now
I'm
we
on
gotta
it.
know what these guys do too.
Oh, there it goes. I found it.
Taboo
Taboo, yes.
and Apple Diap
Okay.
is the
There
other
we go.
guy.
Now
Apple
what?
D.
Now
Apple
Will
D.
I Am sings, right?
Yes.
He raps and
I'm
sings.
going to
on
scream.
According to
and shout
Wikipedia,
and let
Fergie's still in
out.
it.
So there's drama happening.
Oh,
This is an up-to-date thing going on.
Josh Duhamel is going crazy. He wants to be the 5th member.
Now, can Josh Duhamel be in our band? Does he sing? Does anyone
Who is
know?
Josh Duhamel?
He's from the hit series
actor.
Transformers.
He's in Transformers. He's
Also
husband.
did a great movie with Katherine Heigl. where
Oh,
they got
27
together.
Dresses.
I would
No.
like everyone watching this to stop watching this and to YouTube search Fergie MILF Money. The video will change your life. It is utterly fantastic.
Great.
Utterly.
Utter because of boobs.
Fantastic. It's because
Like
it's
udders?
milk money.
Jesus.
It's,
Oh,
it's a whole
okay.
thing.
Andy.
But no, video's worth watching. But yeah, to answer your question, Andy, we need to get down and dirty with this.
The
Now,
government needs us.
We're assuming that we can't just come back in time and get the actual Black Eyed Peas in this, right?
Oh, that's a great point.
No.
No.
Because Will I Am's really talented.
No, they were torn apart.
Future.
Bring the action.
In the,
They were up
future, in the
club.
future, they don't exist.
All eyes on us.
Guys, they need something
All eyes
different.
on
For
it.
the
Will I Am's
sake.
in that.
Well, yes, he produced it. He is in it.
Bring
But
the action. Oh yeah, in the club. I'm a
Kevin, can you bring up a photo of the
Oh,
Black
this
Eyed
is a
Peas?
great-
Yeah.
I jumped into the middle of MILF Money.
MILF Money is awesome. It's just a bunch of
Shot video.
it's a bunch of celebrity moms dancing.
in various states of undress.
Yeah.
This is trippy.
I
This is
see.
fucking
I don't
great.
know who has the hit power of Fergie.
There's
'Cause
the Dracula.
Fergie completely
Right now?
made them successful.
Yeah.
And then she had a hyper successful solo career.
Sure.
And then she got label fuckery fucked with her last couple things.
What happened?
MILF Money never came out with that album never came out because it's one of those things where it's like
Bad deal.
it's a bad deal.
Oh, that's
She got
not
screwed,
good.
which screwed over Black Eyed
That-
Peas.
Are we going to do
sucks.
this or not, guys?
Who's the vampire?
thing is-
Let's
All
get
right.
it started.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm gonna throw out. I'm gonna throw
In
out.
here.
Filipino guy.
Yeah.
We get the lead singer currently of Journey to be that guy. So we got someone with fucking awesome vocals.
Pipes.
Are you
For him to be
familiar with this
taboo.
guy?
Yes, yeah, the guy who replaced
The guy who replaced the lead
Uh,
singer of Journey.
yeah.
I forget the guy's. I forget all the. I don't know. The fucking
Yeah,
names.
Dean
Perry.
Dean Martin.
Steve Perry was the
Perry
lead
was
singer.
was
Was replaced by this other guy. Great
Yeah.
documentary about
They
it.
just found him, kind of right on YouTube or something
Right.
like
I feel like Rampage Jackson could play that dude in the middle.
Will I Am?
that. The black man?
No, the Apple D or
Apple
whatever
D.
the hell his name is. So
Well, now, are we
here's the
playing
thing.
them or are they musicians?
That's the problem. It's like when we're actually looking at trying to like replicate this, it gets hard because Fergie, we know what she does.
It could be
Will
Shakira.
I Am, we know what he does.
Right. What do these
the
guys? What do
other
these
two
do?
dudes? It's ambiguous.
Why are they both? Here's my problem with this shot.
The guy in the
right?
middle
If-
looks like the antagonist from Far Cry 3.
I
don't
don't like
like-
Streets of Rage 2 enemy.
I don't like that the art director for the shoot allowed two people to wear suspenders that weren't on. It just seems like one
you're
of them
right.
should have been the guy with suspenders, right?
But then look on the other side.
no,
This
both
is
Will
my-
I Am and Fergie both have the kind of like pleathery look going. on.
Which
Oh, I
which Final
see.
Fantasy game is this?
this is the last one that came out for
The
sure.
last one? Okay.
The one with the fucking
that.
ostriches that run all over the
15.
place.
15.
Yeah.
No, stop.
So
Why
I
are you
think
doing it more?
Shakira is a great replacement for Fergie.
So wait, in this case, though,
Right and wrong at the same time.
Can we get the whiteboard maybe?
what? Give me one. Give me one song the Black Eyed Peas have done. Like, what's their most famous song?
Let's get it
Started.
Hey,
Let's
let's
get
get it
started.
started.
Replace Will I Am.
Mozart. No,
he's
he's
deaf.
getting close. But there was the.
I want them to look like
I
him
got
too.
a feeling. I got a feeling tonight's gonna be a good night. Yeah, there was that.
See, I
There's
feel
the
like
What Is Love was their first hit with Justin Timberlake. That really brought it back.
Here's the thing about the Black Eyed Peas.
Pump It Up. There was Hey Ma. There was Shut Up.
Hey Ma, hey Ma. That's Black Eyed Peas?
No, that's not them.
It used to be no, that's not Black Eyed Peas. That's Nicki Minaj. Sorry. I'm thinking of Nicki Minaj.
Ooh, what about Nicki Minaj?
Could we get Nicki Minaj?
Okay,
Nicki Minaj being the Black Eyed
Minaj
Peas
is a fucking good
That's
answer.
a strong choice.
Take my chair.
Now, we don't have to keep male, female, right? We could do the dude from Journey and Nicki Minaj. Can Miley Cyrus be in this band?
Miley doesn't know. She doesn't have a place here.
I think it needs to be male, female.
Does it?
With the
Yeah,
females, the
because
You're
lead.
the one from the future telling us what's going on.
Dude, Nick, you nailed it with Nicki Minaj.
Nicki can do it, right?
My problem is I don't know that she could work in a group.
I think she could.
I don't know.
She collaborates a lot with people.
No, yeah, a lot.
Like
Which is,
she had-
she can
she's
nail
had
the
sex with
Fergie
Drake, I think.
solo.
I don't know.
Solo thing. No, she didn't.
Would
I
you-
never fucked Wayne. I never fucked Drake. She
Right.
made that very
That's
clear.
good.
But if
right off
she
the top.
did, they'd eat their ass like a
Like a
cupcake.
cupcake.
A cupcake.
It's really graphic, by the way.
That's a fucking great
I
song.
love that song.
That song is
It's so
so
good.
hot. There's
So-
something
It's
so
fucking
hot
truffle
about Nicki
butter, which
Minaj.
is even nastier.
What the fuck does that even
I'm gonna put. What about Taylor
Do you not
Swift?
know
No,
what that
can we
is,
not
dude?
have an all-star crew?
Taylor
She can't
Swift
hang. She
cannot
can't hang.
work in a group.
Okay.
She can't.
That is a
what
fact.
about now? I'm throwing it out there.
Selena
though.
Gomez.
We can go ahead and just take out Katy Perry, right? She can't work in a group.
No, Katy
You
Perry.
nailed Nick. It's Nicki.
It's got to be Nicki Minaj.
Because the thing is, you guys need to understand this. Like, no jokes. Fergie
Right.
is the star. Fergie
Yeah.
is the
Oh,
one
no, I
that
know.
made this happen.
Yeah, 100%.
But she worked in a group and made group hits, but
So-
then went solo and had so many singles.
Sorry.
So many singles.
I know this
Fergalicious,
is going to be a
London
lot.
Bridge.
There's going to be a lot of people.
Madonna.
I wrote Apple D because I don't know if that's how you spell it. I don't think it's how you.
Probably
That's
just
good.
So we got this is lead singer lockdown. We're going to approach Nicki Minaj about this. And by the way, this is very much like if we were to recast like the Power Rangers, right? Like both Power Rangers die. We got to bring in new Power Rangers. This is fantastic. I love it. I feel
Steve
like we
Harvey.
need enough. Steve Harvey always has a place in my heart.
Fuck.
I don't care what Andy
Yes.
says about him. We need a producer,
That's Will I Am.
and we can't get Will.i.am. So
No,
what I'm
that's
saying,
we need someone
right.
to fill
So what
producer
I'm saying
slash
is,
hype dude.
How about
slash
Pharrell?
rapper.
I'm just going to throw out Pharrell.
And he can sing too.
He can fucking back that
you're
vocal
right.
up.
You're right.
Oh,
Pharrell's
shit,
good.
call, good call.
But I'm
Can't
going to
get
throw this
Pharrell.
out there too. Put Pharrell slash, and we
Yeah.
can debate this.
Yeah.
No, look, we have
Timbo.
plenty of room.
Mike.
What's that?
We have plenty of room.
Timbaland.
Timbaland. Oh.
Oh
Now,
shit!
Timbaland-
Another
see,
great
think
call.
about Timbaland. Timbaland is a workhorse. Timbaland's going to go in there, do the hot beats, be a hype man, but not want to steal the show. The problem I have with Nicki and Pharrell is that at some point, there's going to be a divide. You're going to have to either love Pharrell
We've
or
seen
love
that
Nicki,
happen
and we've
multiple
seen it
times with the
happen.
Black Eyed Peas.
So I feel like maybe Timbaland is the better choice, even though I feel like, and the other part is I feel like Pharrell is going to be pushed for more money in the group, which is also going to cause an issue.
I'm gonna put
I feel
Dolly
like for
Parton
some
down
reason,
for
Timbaland's like
Dolly
a
Parton?
team
Dolly
player.
Parton.
Okay.
Yes.
She can bring the heat.
Dolly Parton is 800 years old right now.
What part of it's the year 3042 and we have a time machine.
I thought we
we're
were
getting
coming back to this year.
No,
point.
we can go anywhere
go
and get
anywhere?
anyone in their
Anywhere.
prime.
I still feel
That's
like
why I'm
Nicki Minaj
saying
is the best
Madonna.
choice for
No,
this.
me too.
Madonna in the 80s.
Oh, Madonna in the 80s?
Like a virgin Madonna.
That could work.
I think that Madonna.
She was the Fergie of her time.
I know she was the Madonna of her time.
But we get her before she knows what she's gonna
but
be.
there's a difference,
We
though.
lie to her and say your career never went anywhere. Get in the fucking
gonna
get in the
save you
get in
from
the
all
car.
the shit you're doing right
get in
now.
get in the time van from
And I mean
1930s.
this,
van?
I mean this out
Yeah.
of
yeah,
respect
it's a
to
van.
Fergie. I
Doesn't have a
do
wolf
appreciate
on it.
Fergie.
Sure. Cool.
Madonna's in a league of her own.
She is.
Agree.
She's
Oh.
too
Like
big.
it's that she's too
Madonna in
For
the
you to take
80s.
offense to that.
But here's the thing, Tim. We're saving the world with the power of music. Okay, Madonna
Music
is
makes the
well
people-
equipped.
The thing is this: if you're gonna go, if you're gonna put together, I think we should put this together by eras. That's my personal.
Mariah
opinion.
Carey.
Mariah Carey would
90s
no,
Mariah
again,
Carey.
Fuck Mariah
does not work in a
Carey.
group. If you're gonna put a super group together, and you're gonna have a female lead, and you're gonna have another person who can produce and sing at the same time, you got to have Madonna and Prince. They got to be together. That would be an unstoppable duo. But I'm just saying that's the '80s version of this, right? Like when we go back into the Bumblebee movie
Prince
from the
is
80s.
ageless. Prince is airless. Prince can fit anywhere.
Yeah,
Raspberry.
I'm gonna try to spell
Put Prince in there.
as Will.i.am.
Does it matter? We don't know what any of these people do.
we put
No, Will I Am. We know what he does.
He's the producer.
The other one, the vampire.
No, Prince is better than that.
But
sorry,
it doesn't
Tyler. Prince is
matter.
not a- if
I'm
you're
saying
watching
we're
this.
adding him up.
All right, fine. For Apple D, let's put in the Beatles.
All four of the Beatles.
I
mean,
feel like
whatever,
We
we
should all
need
get
to-
a veto. I feel like we should at least get one veto per person. Because I'm gonna veto the Beatles.
Of the Beatles.
I just want him on the. I just want him in the conversation.
Naming bands that you like.
I want him in the conversation. I don't even like the Beatles.
Now
that
here's the
much.
thing though, with Apple D and Taboo,
Overrated.
These
are support characters.
They are support characters.
So we need
They're
artists.
the Joey Fatones of the Black Eyed Peas. So who are those characters? Just Joey Fatone.
Joey Fatone. Our boy Joey Fatone. Still
He is our boy. He is our boy.
We're making some mistakes
Joey
here.
Fatone from 2001. Joey Fatone.
Black Eyed Peas. There's a reason that they are what they are, and I think that we need to make sure that we're getting a lot of representation going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think. Well, actually, if we're making,
if you got Timbaland and Nicki, we can put a
so
Joey in there.
you're dancing with the
put
race
Italian in there.
Yeah.
I haven't sat in the broken chair till right now, and it's very disturbing as you slowly get smaller.
just drop.
This one's broken too.
Did we order? I pulled it out.
Okay, Will.i.am is a rapper / kind of a singer. Mostly a rapper, right?
He's rapper chorus dude. Like he does the hook, and then he does all the hype shit. You know, he's just like
Will
ad
Smith.
libs.
Ha 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 ha!
Daddy loves you. Daddy loves you.
Will Smith doesn't produce though.
He doesn't produce. He's not, and I think
He produces great
Will
films,
Smith
yeah.
is not the kind of guy that wants to be in a group. Well, look what happened with Jazzy Jeff. He almost killed that
Jazzy
dude.
Jeff.
Jazzy Jeff would be awesome.
No, see, Jazzy Jeff could be like Taboo.
Jazzy Jeff could be Taboo. That'd be amazing. Jim Brewer is not a fucking singer. Greg, you can't just put Jim Brewer into everything, you fucking psychopath.
I got really lightheaded right there.
See, the thing about Taboo and Apple D, I don't know exactly what they do.
No one does.
I think that they do.
Kevin,
also
look him
produce-
up on
but
the
What I
wiki.
think what Taboo does is Taboo is like the Ringo Starr, where he sings on those other songs.
Okay.
He just plays Taboo in the 90s.
He was really into
All the
that.
things I said, all the things you said, running through my head.
See,
Weren't they
who am I
Taboo?
thinking, though? So like what?
No.
I
sang
still think it's the Filipino guy from Journey.
I mean, I'm okay with that for Taboo.
Yeah,
Let's go
that
with
guy
that.
fucking cranks. I don't know his name, but he's
That guy
fucking
fucking
awesome. Have you
cranks.
seen him? When the lights go down, I'm like, oh my god, this guy fucking knows what he's doing.
He does. He really
So
does.
we need
Tattoo. Close.
Tattoo. Not Taboo.
Here we go. Taboo.
Rapper.
Jamie Louise
Jaime Gomez.
Better
So
name
he's a
station.
little Mexicano, too.
Mexican American and Native American rapper, singer, songwriter, actor, and DJ, best known for the member of the hip hop group
he's
Black
not
Eyed Peas.
Filipino at all. So then it is Apple D that I think is half Filipino. Can we
I don't
figure
think so.
this
I don't
out?
think any of them are Filipino now.
I mean, if he's Mexican American,
Put you in?
we put Andy in.
yeah.
Hell yeah. dude.
Apple D. Alan Pindana Lindo,
Filipino
better
American
known for
rapper.
his name Apple D. App.
Okay, he's the Filipino. That makes sense.
All right, so
The chat was
can you
correcting
please
a
look
lot.
up the gentleman that is the lead singer of Journey, so I stop slaughtering his name and calling him the dude from Journey. Say just type in Google dude from Journey Filipino guy.
Steve Vai.
Journey, what
Is that his name?
That's a
Lead
guitarist
singer?
that did
Stevie
the X-Men
Ray
theme
Vaughan.
song.
Wait, Journey lead singer?
He did the
Is that what you're looking
yeah.
He did the thing. Wow. He also did a Halo.
Halo Mullen remix, yeah.
That's him. That's him right there. Arnell.
for? The guy was showing you guys earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just showing us a picture of an Asian boy.
Yeah,
we didn't know what it
we-
meant. I don't know what that means.
I had no idea.
There's
what
no
that was.
context. I didn't know
I
what that
saw
was.
it and like didn't reference it. 'cause
You guys were talking.
There's 400 other pictures of him with Journey on stage. and
That's all he did, yeah.
So when we were talking earlier, this image popped up,
Yeah,
and I just
They saw it.
no, I saw it too, but I didn't know. We didn't know what you were doing.
All right, let's move on.
I thought, yeah.
You were too ahead of the game for us.
Feels left behind. We love you, Cav.
Yeah.
Kevin!
He's gonna stop coming to work. I
It's
just want you guys to know.
funny.
He's gonna fuck you guys.
funny.
He's gonna take one of the cameras and go off and do his own thing.
Oh my God.
Kevin, I love you. Thank you for that. So Arnell, that's the guy's name.
Arnell.
Okay.
Arnell is currently battling all 4 of the Beatles.
I think Arnell's
Will
beating him
I
now,
am
though.
in
Here's the
Britney,
deal.
bitch.
I love the Beatles. I'm not gonna take anything away from the Beatles, but they do not have Arnell's vocal range. That is for fucking sure.
But Apple D doesn't sing; he's just a rapper. Yeah,
Barely.
barely.
Now, can we get Eminem in this group?
No,
Eminem
again,
has no
to-
place.
Okay,
Yeah.
just checking. Just
Okay,
checking.
what's happening? with
Beyonce
Migos?
as Fergie.
Where do the Migos fit?
Beyonce
Where
is
do the
Fergie.
Migos-
Beyonce as Fergie.
We know she works well in groups.
Beyonce
Ask
is
Kelly
great.
Rowland.
Kelly Rowland hates her. True story.
I'll put Kelly Rowland there too.
I don't know if they hate each other.
Well, Kelly Rowland. Oh, if we're trying to keep sexes, then no. But
No.
Kelly Rowland would
Why are
make
we
a-
trying to keep
I'm gonna
sexes? Why?
throw this
Blow it
out
up.
there.
Blow it all up.
There's no blowing
I
things
feel
up
like
here.
there's a member of our extended family that would be amazing for this new supergroup
Mike
that we're
Drucker.
putting together. and I feel like he sings well, dances well, and we know he can perform in a group. My man Cisco needs to be somewhere on this list.
I'm liking it.
But I feel like he's better. The problem is
no. Cisco, he has to be the Apple D.
Really?
I think so. Because he can't produce that I know of. He can't produce the Will.i.am jams. I know that for a
he's not a
fact.
producer, but I really feel like the problem is like I feel like we need to put him in for the Fergie spot because he sings really, really well and he's a great performer. And I don't think that needs to necessarily be female. I feel like it could be male, female, female, female too, with Cisco front in the group.
Okay,
I'm just putting that out there.
Taboo's Mexican American. What about
Apple D-
Edward James Olmos?
Yeah.
Apple D does vocals
From the 80s, it's
and
gonna have to be
drums.
from Stand and Deliver, Edward James Olmos, or
You know
Blade
what I mean?
Runner, Edward James Olmos.
I can see Cisco.
I know what you mean, Kevin.
Apple D plays drums?
Mm-hmm.
What does he play? Bongos?
Oh, shit.
Oh
We
man,
can
that's a
change
joke that
this
never
up.
dies, even though Kevin desperately wants it to.
Oh God.
Are you calling him right now?
Yeah, we'll get Cisco can just pick his own group. He can be if we're putting Cisco on the Black Eyed Peas.
Okay.
I was in Drew Hill at that time.
Explain everything.
I will explain everything to you.
All right, Jesus.
In the year 3036.
I'm uncomfortable with you just calling Cisco.
42. Well, you know what? If you're better
Yeah,
friends,
30,
then you can call
42.
him too.
I think I mean, it's true. That hurts.
If you know my voice, you got the right number.
Cisco, it's Greg Miller. You're on the GameOverGreggy show. It's the year 3042. Destruction has been rained. Terminators are everywhere.
Chaos. There's chaos everywhere, Cisco.
And so we're the only way to solve the problem
I'm not
is to
comfortable with this.
reform the Black Eyed Peas with musicians from any time period. We can't have the original members of the Black Eyed Peas, so we're looking for 4 people to fill the roles. We have given you one of the roles. You'll be filling in for Will.i.am. Is that what we decided?
Correct.
So then we need your help. I want to know who you want as Fergie, who your Taboo is, and who your Apple D is. You can hit me back anytime. I mean, we're live. The show will probably be over by the time you get this. But let us know in the comments below. Maybe tweet when this episode goes live. Let us know who anywhere. Kevin
Any
pointed
musician.
out it could be Mozart. You can put anybody you want in these things. You don't have to, it's not from this period. You get to pick from the best periods. You want a Kenny Rogers in there from 1972? You can do that.
Kenny Rogers.
All right, we'll talk to you soon, Cisco. We love you. Bye.
Kenny Loggins.
Kenny Loggins. Okay, I'm making an executive decision.
Okay.
To put Will.i.am because Will.i.am also plays piano, right?
I
Yes.
mean, no.
So you can
No?
Here's the thing.
It says piano right there.
Yeah, it does. He played piano on their album in 1995 back when they were an underground hip hop group.
piano and keyboards.
But
It's
he
written in
has
Wiki.
the
You're right, but for the I got a feeling he was the dude doing the
And you know who else plays piano?
Vanessa Carlton.
Mozart.
Michael
Ryan
McDonald.
Gosling from La La Land.
Michael McDonald.
He came from
You know
Where
what?
is the
I totally dropped the ball on that. I went straight into Hall & Notes.
We know.
I apologize, everyone. I fucked up. I
Been a
will
long
swallow
day.
this microphone.
Possibly the longest day in
Paul
recorded history.
Oh, Guinness
right,
would get
Fran?
off their fucking ass and call us back.
Oates is Apple D.
I mean, I'm fine with it. I love
Yeah.
Hall & Notes.
Okay.
Kind of look like you put outs, you know what I mean? Now it's out tests. Otes.
I'm trying to think for the 90s. I mean, I do love...
Britney, bitch.
Oh, Britney was so good in the 90s. In the early 2000s.
We could probably get Willa Ford. Actually, Willa Ford would have fit in the Fergie role pretty well, and she would have had a better career.
Which one was Willa Ford?
I wanna be bad with you, baby.
Because it makes me feel so good.
What about anybody from TLC?
What about Nelly Furtado?
What about Nelly?
What about Nelly?
Oh,
Saint Lunatics? He knows how to be in a
Nelly
group.
is Apple D because he's a rapper.
Yeah.
that's great.
Put it on the board.
Put
Can we
on
get
the
Tim
board.
McGraw on there too?
No.
Okay, just checking
No,
out.
no,
Just
no.
checking
They
out
did have a hit, though.
I know.
Can you
Over and over
do me a
again.
huge
Yeah.
favor and just subtly erase Jim Brewer from Nelly? I don't think he's gonna make the cut.
I thought we were just able. You already used your one veto on the Beatles, so it looks like you fucked yourself, didn't you,
Motherfucker, I
Chief?
did, but that was that's a good point.
He's the
Damn it.
GOAT guy. Nick.
A lot of people don't know
I don't
that.
see him. I don't see
All right,
him
so
really
pick your-
pulling his
what's
weight
the
in this-
final
in this
crew here?
super group.
My vote going across the board goes to Nicki Minaj,
Yeah.
Timberland, Andy,
Yeah.
Edward James almost is pretty good.
and
man.
Nelly.
All right, there you go.
Nicki Minaj, Timberland, Andy, and Nelly are the new Black Eyed Peas.
That's a solid.
Congratulations
Congratulations to me.
Congratulations to all of you.
Save
kind
us,
of a
Andy.
kind of a curveball because the government's going to be like, we need you to form this, and then like they're like, oh, you are one of them.
What a great
But it'll be
concept,
you go
though.
through everybody
won't
and they're
see it
not good
come.
enough. They're not
Yeah.
good enough, and finally the other three turn like, Andy, you are the taboo
are
we
the
need.
taboo.
Like
Yeah.
they do that one song and it's not working, and then you're like, guys, I'll just fill in for
I'm
a
kind of
second.
singing
And
along,
like,
yeah.
and they're like, Andy, we didn't know you could sing the entire time.
They're covering Michael McDonald now,
Yeah, they're just-
which is lucky for me.
and they're like, you're it, man. You're it.
What a fool, man. Great show, guys.
If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Game Over Greggy show, and I'm getting shorter by the minutes. Thank you for watching. Remember, got an itch, sorry.
You're thinking about it.
I am thinking about it too. Hold on, I am off track here.
Longest day ever.
It has been the longest day. This is what happens when you do 15 shows in one day. This has been the Game Over Greggy show. Each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table, each bringing a random topic discussion for your amusement. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny, where you can get each and every episode early, along with a bunch of exclusive perks, goodies, and other things. But if you have no bucks to toss our way, no big deal. Head over to youtube.com/kindafunny, where we put up the show topic by topic, day by day, until it goes up as one big video and MP3 later. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you. Greg here, still sinking. Click here to subscribe. Click here to watch other episodes of the Game Over Greggy show. Click here to go to our Patreon page, and then click over there to go to Kinda Funny. Oh, still going now. Go to Kinda Funny Games. It's all right. Well.